It's just that the STKs are just in terrible locations. But it is what it is. Okay. I like the suits and Samus Returns a lot in general, as well. Yeah. Unironically, Samus Returns Gravity Suit was probably my favorite suit design until Dread happened, and then Gravity Suit became my favorite suit design. Light Suit's up there too for me. Dark Suit, I don't like Dark Suit, but I appreciate and respect it. If that makes any sense. I'm just kind of an amp on it, but okay. We don't talk about Metroid Prime's fusion suits. We don't talk about that. Alright. Oh, wow, nice bonk. Waiting before someone uses the bonk command. Yep, there we go. There it is. Okay. Whee! Okay. Oh, almost done. So you want to see me use Sunburst on Emperor with double damage? I, for one, am excited to see how much it does. I am very excited. Hopefully I landed. It does, but not as much as Sunburst. Sonic Boom does pretty respectful. You have to keep in mind, again, Embering is Embering. It's weak to Light Beam. Sonic Boom is not a light attack. So naturally Sunburst, I think Sunburst does double damage to it already. So Sunburst is better than all other beam combos on Emperor Ing. It's the best beam combo. Why? Because it's so bad and so slow that you can fire it so early before the weak point shows up, that by the time the weak point is exposed, you can already have swapped your beam to something else and not have lost any damage output at all. So Sunburst is good on Emperor Ing because it is very bad and slow. Okay. I canceled it. Okay. Can I still land this? I wonder. Go! Beautiful. That's so beautiful. Hey! Oh, double damage is so fun. Oh, that also hit. Okay, cool. I don't have any more PBs, unfortunately. This phase is alright. Let's do this the old-fashioned way instead of screw attacking. Okay. Here. Did you know an Annihilator Beam is broken? I'm just gonna sit here and scan it. Not even lock on. Oh. People say beam ammo is bad design. Fine. I think this final boss is honestly generally pretty well designed. The second phases are really annoying, but otherwise I think it's a pretty good final boss. And like all your beams are useful because of the ammo system, just FYI. Like you need to use the opposing beam when the weak point is exposed, but when it's not exposed, you can choose to use other beams or Annihilator for the ease, or you can try to conserve your ammo for weakness by using super missiles and stuff instead. So like it's honestly a well-designed fight, I feel like. Like yeah, I think this was the best final boss of the entire Prime trilogy by no contest. Phase 2 sucks, I agree. Phase 2 is kind of annoying. If it weren't for the English that popped down randomly, then yeah. That was too much damage. I fired 12 shots. I fired 12 shots, excuse you. Should have been 25 is how much I'm supposed to fire, and I have double damage, so I fired 12. Oh well. I like it conceptually, I just find the random England spawns very annoying. But I'm also biased because I used to speed on the game, so like, getting bopped by them is very annoying and time costly. So it's cool to have some use of your Morphle stuff. And Morphle stuff, Spider Ball, and Power Bombs. In final boss. Too bad this boss exists and kind of ruins everything positive I had to say about Endgame Prime 2. Immersion, yay. It's too bad double damage doesn't seem to apply to this. Have a sonic boom that does nothing. Nice. And then that can happen in this video, not much you can do about it. I think Prime 2 isn't TDE. Yeah, hi, Stark Samus. This boss is certainly a thing. Well, I mean, Prime 2's endgame bosses late game bosses do need something tedious, because Prime 1 has Meta Ridley, and Prime 3 has Omega Ridley. So, gotta have something like this in every Prime game, am I right? I'm totally not firing shots at people who like the Ridley fights. Yeah, fun fact, the damage you do here doesn't really matter. There's a damage cap, strict damage cap before she goes back up. So like, even if you use something really good there, it doesn't even matter. It's really dumb. I've seen someone say I'm really unfair with my criticism to other games, and if I praise Prime 2 too much. I think I am very fair, honestly. And if it wasn't evidenced by the fact that I'm constantly shitting on this boss in Prime 2, it's bad. But GG. Alright. Prime 3 Meta Ridley, it is unironically probably the best Ridley fight to exist, and it still sucks because it's a mashing game. So it's like the first time you do it, it's like, oh, this fight's pretty cool, because you're like falling down a shaft trying to fight Ridley, and I think that's cool. Until you realize all you're doing is mashing. Then you just mash and pray you hit, and you just keep mashing. basically keep mashing. It's not a very good fight either. But at least there's something going on all the time, even if it's mashing. But yeah, Prime 3 Meta really is definitely the best Ridley fight to exist in the Prime games, which is not a very high standard, honestly. Which is not a high standard. Because they all kind of suck. Okay. I had DCR, take a look at the seed. This is an Alicia start seed. So this should be okay. This seed should be doable. You know, I specifically made sure to get Alicia start seeds because these are pretty cool. That's the thing about like a lot of Prime 3 stuff in general. Like a lot of it's really cool and novel. And like when you actually think about like the actual implications of the designs, like this area for example, it's really novel with these zip lines. When you think about what they actually do, that these are just glorious auto-scrollers that you have to repeatedly do over and over again, you realize how badly designed how many issues Prime 3 has. Which is why people shit on Prime 2 a lot more than Prime 3, because people kind of are taken in by the novelty of a lot of this, which I guess is kind of fair, but don't want to admit the issues of it, if that makes any sense. Which I guess to a degree can be argued to be a flaw with Prime 2 in itself, because like it doesn't really, a lot of it isn't quite as novel. Excuse me. But then again, I feel like that's not exactly a great thing, because Torvis is very unique, and Sanctuary is also a Craigasm. Don't have space jump. Okay. What do I have? I have bombs. I have bombs. Okay. Didn't even check what I had. No beam upgrades. I already have missiles, so that's a plus. I have boost ball. Okay. And inventory. Visors. Oh, nothing. Okay, and no grapple stuff. Okay. Alicia start. I mean, as much as I complain about Alicia starts are legitimately pretty interesting. Alright, so we legitimately can't do anything here. There's probably an item up there. Although, maybe I can do an SSJ up there. If I can, then that item would potentially be in logic. Now that I think about it. Oh, yeah, thank you. Forgot about that. I want to kill everything here. But this game's great. I think it's by far the weakest of the three, don't get me wrong. But like ultimately this game is still a very solid game. Very good game. So like I don't blame people for having like a really good first impression on this game. Especially if they never replayed it, because when you replay it, all the issues become a lot more apparent. Prime 2 has the opposite, where the more you play the game, the more rewarding and satisfying it is. I guess I don't think I can really. I mean, I don't know if I can really make that with that only an SSJ. So, let's see what this is first. This is a pretty quick item check. Pretty much has to be something. That's grapple swing, I think. Oh yeah, that's grapple swing. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just locked in these few rooms until I get grapple swing. So. Okay. Auto scrollers. Whee! Yay! Auto scrollers. Yay! Yay! Okay. Really easy check here. Okay, that changes things. That changes things. Let's go back now. Because if I keep going, then I soft lock unless it's grapple lasso. Okay? Get excited for more auto-scrollers. Whee! Auto-scrollers. Gotta love these, am I right? And auto-scrollers where you have to redo them if you make a mistake. Yay. You pretty much need to mash as well, just FYI. This game does a bad job of discouraging you. Find 1 and 2 do a good job, or mostly fine with that. This game, not so much. I think a lot of people didn't use hyper mode too much on the first playthrough because the game does a good job of making you like be scared of it. This game does a good job of that. Unfortunately, gameplay-wise, it's stupid broken and really easy to abuse. It's not the most fantastic gameplay lore integration there, I must say. Yeah, like I think. The big thing that breaks hyper mode is the fact that you can turn it on and off anytime you want, and it doesn't use any face on. If using hyper mode, just use W and energy tank right there. That alone would have already balanced it so much. That alone would have balanced it a lot more. Because like as it is in this game, what you can do is turn on hyper mode, which doesn't use any health, just tank hits and turn it off, and you've literally taken no damage. 0 damage. And that's the issue with it. Like if they made hyper mode like an actual commitment to it, then that would be a lot better. Spider Ball, I'm not surprised. If you do shoot with hyper mode, you do use health. But yeah, to say they quite liked how it turned out. Yeah, I have things to say about that. Although if they were talking specifically about the lore, I guess, or story, then I could see why, but probably not. Yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of issues with this game. A lot. But that doesn't mean it's bad. This is still a very good game. So. Still ultimately very good. And we got Spider Ball. Okay. We cannot go back to the start of Elysia. I hope you're excited to see this auto-scroller for the 3rd time, just in the past 5 minutes, just FYI. I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not. You actually legitimately have to do these a lot repeatedly in the vanilla game. There are occasional shortcuts here and there you can unlock with like Plasma Beam and stuff, but just from the story events themselves, you have to do like every zip line 3 or 4 times each in the vanilla game. It's really bad. It's that bad. Okay. Okay. What is that? Is that Screw Attack? That's Screw Attack. Okay. Well then. That is indeed Screw Attack. So, I mean, like, Corruption Seeds are pretty much always going to be super front-loaded. That's just how it is, especially in Elysia. So we got Grapple, Boost Ball, Spider Ball. We started with Boost Ball. We got Space Jump, Grapple, Swing. We're about to get Screw Attack now. I have no other options. This has to be Grapple Lasso. If it's not Grapple Lasso, then the logic is broken. I don't have any other options. This has to be Grapple Lasso. Hi. Oh, I missed. F. I'm just hoping I screw attack it somewhere. There it is. Hi. Have a screw attack. Okay, cool. We are not self-locked. If this was not Grapple Lasso, I would have a lot of words to say to DCR. Because this would absolutely be a very easy catch if you were familiar with the game and looked at the seed to make sure you vetoed it. We're at least I asked him to veto it if it was impossible. Which it is not impossible. So thankfully, DCR was correct. Catch! Okay. I'll say, Captain, how's it going? You missed a glorious Echo Seed. I don't think anything can top the Echo Seed I got. I don't think there's anything that can ever top the Echo Seed I got. Ever. I'm definitely sharing it in Discord. I am definitely sharing it. I don't think there is a single seed that can top how meme-tastic it was. I don't think any seed can ever top it. Okay. I think that's Ice Missiles. which is so it's progressive missiles, and in this game. Oh, actually, okay. I need to look something up really quickly. Claris, easy infinite percent. Corruption. Oh no. Okay, I need to look this up on YouTube. Come on. There it is. Okay. Ads. Okay. To do this, I need to... Okay, I already hit the trigger, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to reload the room. I'm trying something. Give me a sec. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay. I could, okay. Let's see. On that one. Okay. Let's try this. Yes, after the trigger. Okay, so what I need to do is this, I think. Okay, and then I need to fall down. Oh no, I don't know where to fall down. Shoots. Let's see. Oh, that map doesn't actually show me anything. Let's see. I am cheating. I've never actually done this successfully, because I never really practiced it. But this is just too cool to try. This is too good of an opportunity to not try it. Okay. Low left corner doesn't really matter, does it? I don't see why you're making too big a video out of it. Okay. I guess I can cover it. It's not a big deal either way. Okay. All right. Go. I am actually kind of cheating, but I've never actually done this successfully in a useful context. I just want to try this because it's fun. I can't really make the camera smaller. I could, but like, I mean, I could, but it would make the camera pretty much non-existent. They're just gonna have to deal with it with widescreen layouts. That's the thing. Like, either that or I have to make the game. There's gonna be some degree of overlap if you don't want both to be stupidly tiny, awkwardly tiny. So yeah, Yeah, so this item is one of two interesting, unique items in the game, okay? Oh, whoops. I play with it. I don't like how it looks if I move it to the left. So. I need more to the left. So basically, like, what you're about to see is right after I get this, or not, or not, or not. I apparently don't know how to get this. I apparently know how to get this by duping it, but not getting it normally. Oops. So like, so that right there. If you notice, there was a pause. Basically, after you get this item, the game wants to make sure that it doesn't like interrupt your gameplay, if that makes any sense. So like, there's always like a pause once you get that item. And then once you hit certain triggers, then the game confirms that you've collected the item. So right here is one such trigger. Because like, if the game just gives you the dialogue immediately, then it kind of interrupts your spider balling, in this case, for example. So what you do is, if you get this item successfully without hitting any of those invisible triggers, and then you reload the room, the item will still be there. So what I did before was, I went backwards and got this item like this. There is no trigger on the left side. There's no trigger on the left side. So as long as I don't hit that trigger of the game saying, okay, you got an item, now I can display the dialog box, and I reload the room, then the item will still be there, and you can just keep cloning it. There is also a trigger on this entire platform, and a trigger on this entire platform. So you can't touch that platform or this platform after you get this item. By doing that, I was able to dupe the ice missiles. And since this is progressive items, by getting 2 ice missiles, I got secret missiles by cheating. So, I've never done this successfully, even though it's actually not hard at all, because I'm dumb. And it's honest, like, it's not as game-breaking as it sounds, to be fair, because secrets aren't that useful in corruption, really, so it's whatever. It's not like, say, getting like light suit immediately, which has happened in like tourneys for Echoes random, by the way. That's if I really got it. I did get it. Yep. I did actually get them. So yeah, I actually legitimately had. Well, okay, not legitimately, but I do have seekers. I just keep saying legitimately when, yeah. It's not in logic. No, it is very much not. You can do something okay, well, you can do something. You can clone an item in Echoes as well in a much easier way. I actually did it today, and no one really noticed because it's not quite as obvious. But like the box where you get the missile launcher, if you get that item before triggering the Federation cutscene, then the box will respawn after you trigger the cutscene. So you can get that item twice, and it has happened before in randomizers. Oh, I don't have enough missiles. It has happened before in a few random tourneys where like that happened to be a suit, and people usually play with progressive suits. So you just get the suit, respawn, and you get light suit that way. So it has happened before. Get the other missile, I'll give you storm missiles. Well, we haven't really saved, so let's go ahead and save. Okay, so yeah, what I just posted in chat are the triggers you want to avoid after you get that item. That's provided by Claris when she discovered this easy way of getting infinite percent. I tried to do it. Yeah, I duped the light ammo expansion 2 days ago in Echoes as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I could do this. So trigger Gore. Might cause issues though, because I kind of can't reload Gore until I get Hyper Ball and Morph Ball. Okay.
I am Ferdinand von Ayer.
I already got so many items, so just how Corruption Random goes are really front-loaded, but like there's still a lot I actually look for. In particular, energy cells are just something people tend to forget when watching Corruption Lando, because they are basically small Zelda, equivalent of Zelda small keys, except for a dungeon that you need to get to the end of. Okay. Oh, hi there, grapple voltage. What is That is also useful. Oh, I can't get that logically. Oh, shoot. I don't have plasma beam. I just realized I don't have plasma beam. Whoops. Okay, well, I can get that with a slope jump. It's a slope jump instant morph. It's really annoying, though. I don't think it's in logic. It's like a slope jump into instant morph, I think. You have to be careful because the game likes to eat your jump, because this game likes to prevent sequence breaking. Yeah, later. We're gonna stumble upon Plasma Beam somewhere. I was wondering if I can actually hit that, but I guess not. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, let's go back and get a grapple voltage then. He's not very close-minded. I can see why he would get that impression, but he's not very close. Yeah, it was literally the next item, yep. Same with Lawrence. People talk about him being really close-minded, but he really isn't. Okay. There is a glitch you can do in 3 houses. Yes, 3 houses glitch, sue me. Where basically after you select a character, you're not supposed to be able to, so every time you select a character in 3 houses, they say their line, okay? They say their line. Their selection line. But they're only supposed to do it once. If you Divine Pulse, they will say it again, which, you know, is fair. But if you dance for a character, if you select a character, they say their line, you move them, and then if you dance for them to make them move again, they're not supposed to say their selection line again. You're not supposed to. But if you Divine Pulse after dancing for it, they will say their selection line, which I believe is a glitch. It's a meaningless glitch. It's a very silly one, but things point to the fact that it's not really intended. You're not supposed to be able to do that, but it's arguably a glitch. He absolutely isn't. You definitely need to read his supports again, especially with Dorothea then, if I remember correctly. But I haven't read the story in a while, but he definitely isn't close-minded as you think. Okay. Okay, so now I can... Well... I mean, I kind of actually want a missile tank before I can do that, so let's go this way first. Grapple voltage is actually kind of important. I'm going to go check out defense drone because there's a check that I require grapple voltage. So let's go. Stylish kill. Not having to risk soft block this time. Thank you, thank you. I love this game eating my screw attacks. Birdie has growth too, so yeah, I think that you're just being a little biased with that, but I haven't done your playthroughs, and I haven't read the story in a long time, so. Oh, wow, energy's actually pretty low. Well. This might be a slight issue. We'll see. That is an energy cell, which is good, although I would like energy tanks. Energy tanks would be kind of nice. There are some crates there, so I can get some help. And like, just like Echoes, Corruption does have a dynamic drop rate system. I don't really know exactly how it works, but it absolutely gives you higher drop rates. Your health drops if you're low on health and vice versa. Case in point, that's a 50 health drop. Prime 1 does not. FYI. That's another point against Prime 1. In case people like to defend everything about that game. Okay. Defense drone half. There is another progressive missile upgrade out there, yes. What happens if I get it? Probably nothing. Almost dead, I think. Come on. There we go. I get a missile tank. Woo! Which I actually kind of want right now. Even though I kind of cheated and got secret missiles when I'm not supposed to. Okay, what are we getting here? Oh? Oh! Okay. Was not expecting that. That's nice. Oh, ball percent indeed. What's next? Hyper missiles and hyper grapple? Yeah, that's a slight issue, but I'll stumble upon them, or at least I don't know about hyper mode. Okay.
I am Ferdinand von Ayer.
Corruption and boost slots. Prime 1 and 2 boost slots. You just boost into something for like a second. Done. Prime 3. Yay, here, have a thing you have to boost around for about 20 seconds each. Hooray. I think I can legitimately leave Elysia at this point. I can open up the landing site now. I should be able to open. I have bombs. I have boost and plasma. I can activate that cutscene. Oh no, I don't have command visor. Never mind. I need command visor. Yeah, so command visor is my go-to. Go-to. What I need to exit this area. I hope you like auto scrollers. I know there's an item up there, but there's no point in getting it now when I'm gonna go get it anyways on my way out, so it's fine. God, getting power works this early is so weird. Not gonna lie. Oh, that is true. I just realized. Yeah, these two items are out of logic. Now that you mention it, because I kind of cheated to get secret missiles. Oops. I am cheating. I am ashamed to admit it, but I am cheating. So this world record is no longer valid. Oh my god! Rewarded for cheating! I got so rewarded for cheating. Oh my god. Miracles no, oh no! I can't I forgot I don't have E-tanks. No. 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 Okay, what is this? Oh, E-tank, 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 E-tank. Give me E-tank. Give me E-tank. F. Okay, let's try this again. No. Okay, this is not a hard trick. I need to set the camera a bit again. There we go. Gordon requires not logically. I think the logic is a little bit broken with that, actually, memory. Because, like, I mean, you don't need hyper mode to leave. So, like, right now, the problem with Gore is that you know where to leave, you need to reload the room. And the thing that requires hyper mode to reload the room is not properly handled. Does that make sense? Because it's a separate room, and Randomizer is room agnostic. Hyper mode is locked by Seekers at the moment, yes. Now, if this is Seekers, then this puts everything back in logic, and then my cheat actually wouldn't have helped much. Which is absolutely possible. And which would be very interesting, because that means logically Seeker missiles are very early, which is really uncommon, because Seeker missiles are one of the less useful items in Corruption. They don't really open up any areas, per se. They just open up, like, a check here and there. That is absolutely a major item. They just open up, like, a check here and there, as opposed to, like, an entire area or region. So. No, my cheat! My cheat was not useful! No! My cheat did not help. No. F. This randomizer was like, nope, you're not getting rewarded for that cheat. No cheats for you. Oh well, it's okay. Storm missiles acquired. Alright. Finished cleared that. Saving for having to do the spider tracks right, that is true. Where do I want to go now? East Skytown is in logic. Yeah. Oh, also, Gore should be open now too. Gore should absolutely be open now. Although I kind of need command visor to really leave, but I think I should open up commanding side anymore. So. East Skytown is open. Period. Yeah. But I still want to open this up, though. I say that and go in the wrong direction. I want to trigger the Gore sequence, is what I'm trying to say. Not get Gore. And now is the best time to do it. Especially since, like, honestly, I think I've legitimately just full cleared, like, all of main Elysia. Not even memeing. I've pretty much full cleared it outside of Gore. So, like, I pretty much don't have a reason to go back here again later. I think I've legitimately full cleared main Elysia, main Skytown. I think I've gotten every item in this area. Yeah, Gore is the only thing left. That is the only thing left in main Skytown I have not collected. Now I can enjoy the rest of this game. Well, we got through my least favorite area relatively quickly, I guess. Some 40 minutes.
The Aurora unit is corrected and
I mean, I have to find command visor somewhere. It has to be in East Skytown. I have no other options. Unless the seat's broken, which in that case you can blame BCR. There's no other option for command visor to be in. Assuming the seat is logically sound. I don't have missiles. Okay. And he's messed up before. He's failed to veto an impossible seed once on stream, which, I mean, you know, happens. I do have hyper mode. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I don't have charge beam to make that faster, and I don't have a huge amount of health. I would have rather just use Seekers, honestly, because they're pretty efficient for this fight. But, you know, oh well. This is Gore talking about Seeker missiles. This is Gore talking about me cheating to get Seeker missiles. It was ultimately insignificant. Observe. Observe! Seeker missiles are here! Ha! Alright, I need to talk to you.
There is much to do. We have communed with it. We have a plan. Gore's plasma can. Gore may have changed.
Okay, and then now don't only again. These stations have so much script crap that makes this kind of a pain in the ass. I need to reload that room, and now I need to weld, and that will allow me to use landing site A. And these welding things don't work until you reload the room, FYI, because you're not supposed to be able to have plasma after doing that little mini fight, robot fights. Okay, what colors will we get here? Because this is randomized. Ooh, emerald. What's this? Uninteresting. Cyan? Violet? Pink? Cyan. Ooh, I like that. I believe that triggers the sequence to allow me to use landing site A now, so. Which I probably won't need, but excuse you. Excuse you.
Gore's plasma can.
Welcome to Elysia! Hooray! Well-designed area. with all its mess of room layers and stuff. It's whatever. Okay, time to go to East Skytown. Ship status update.
Auto repair functions complete.
Ship is ready for use.
Ship status update.
Randomizer has like an option to shuffle the teleporters. I don't think that's so actually supported. I didn't try yet, but there is UI for it in Randomizer, but I don't think that's actually a thing yet. Unfortunately,
Unknown entity.
I should learn this clip for this though. Like you can apparently just kind of do something like this. Like you can kind of do something to keep that open, so you can and then just click through that Miguel found. You can look up a video for it. I'm not sure if that's actually unlocked in Logic yet or not. Yeah. Okay. Water. Alright, productive break there. Oh, this is actually a bit of a problem. Okay, 5 missiles at least. Missiles and health, please. Health, okay. lack of charge beam is gonna be a bit of a oof. This item up here. E-tank, which I absolutely want. Okay. First try, baby. Let's go. First try. Yes. Okay. I hope hyper mode works. Okay, it does. Because I don't have missiles, so I can't missile that. Alright, what is this? That looks like a ship grapple. Okay, well, it's kind of important. Helios? Hopefully not. Helios? No, hopefully not. Well, I can't use it because I need command visor. So in other words, yeah, we'll see. Please don't bomb me. I can actually just use hyper mode. It's stupid. Can't use hyper mode here because I can't bomb jump. Helios could have charge beam, although charge beam is not like really vital in this game anyway, so it doesn't really do much for you logically. If Helios had charge beam, that would suck, but I could just skip it. You don't really need charge beam for anything. Nope. Bye. Okay. Want to make sure these crates aren't boomed. So this room, ship grapple is actually really important if you don't know how to do any tricks, because if you don't know how to do this SSJ here, then the only way to climb up this room is to have your ship lift that up. And this unlocks like pretty much an entire half of this area, honestly. Like the entire Metroid labs basically, and the Botanica area, which is like 4 or 5 items, something like that. I don't know what that is, but I probably want it, even if it's a missile tank, because running around with only 10 missiles kind of sucks. That is not a missile tank, that is an E-tank. That is better. Yep, use Randomizer. So, SSJs are in logic. SSJ hilarious. Any Spike Vegeta subs. SSJs, emotes are in logic. I did not even make the connection until now. SSJ stands for spring space jump, or spring ball space jump. It's basically the same thing as a BSJ, which is bomb space jump, except you can just use spring ball. Okay, what color do we get? Kind of cyan. Neat color. Okay. Thank you for. I cannot believe I am actually blowing these crates up for missile drops. I kind of need them. 10 missiles is kind of a no bueno. I mean, I have 3 E-tanks, so it's they're less necessary now. LOL hyper mode, but still. What is this? Fireworks. I'm not getting a good look at that. Let's see. That's an E-tank, which would be nice to get. I'll get that on my way out. Wait a second, I don't have command visor. Yeah, I don't have command visor. I can't actually get that. But the Xeno Research Labs should be in logic though. Is it? Pretty sure that's an E-tank. I'll double check though. Could be wrong. You know what I really wish they did? They make it so you can actually fix this elevator, because this elevator would be so nice. For extra paths. Oh yeah, that's definitely an E-tank. It's rotating and blue. Okay. Silly memory. Trying to. Okay, I don't mean silly. You know what I mean. Trying to curse me after the cheating I did. Gosh. No worries. You know I'm joking. I hope. Okay. That phrasing just came off way more negative than I intended to be. I apologize. I think you know I didn't mean anything negative by that. Okay. Although I could still open the landing site. I can still open it, and then like later on, once I do get my command badge, I can just fly in here and get the check. So I think that's worth it still. I just can't actually get the check, but I can unlock it though. So when I do get command badge, I can just fly here later. Bowling for bucks. I'm at a point, like, and then the more I think about it, the more I think it's ridiculous how I've gotten so many items in Elysia. Like, I basically full cleared Elysia, the main Elysia, basically. I have found only 2 missiles. That is true, after Xeno Research Labs, but I don't know. That is fair. That is a fair point, but oh well, we're already here. So this actually wouldn't really be a great, yeah, this wasn't a great play then, that is fair. Oh well, it's okay. Ah. Your command visor has to be there. Like, I have effectively full cleared this area otherwise. It has to be in Xeno Research Labs. Unless the seat is a dud. Yeah. So this is kind of the opposite of the other seed. With the other seed, I had like very little in Lysia, so I had to work my way around it. But this is still like different than usual, which is fun. I can't do Gore. I need command visor to go to Gore. So like the only checks are available to me in Elysia left are Xeno Research Labs, which, if for those who are not familiar with the room names, it's basically where you get secret missiles, the Metroid Labs. I used to be able to do this pretty easily, but I just lost the muscle memory, I guess. There we go. Or not. It's the Hyperball Blob. Can't do it from the other side. Yep. Maybe I just do it from here, because this is where I normally do it from, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Nope. Not getting height from that. Oh, that's much better. There we go. Yeah, like, I felt the height change there. On SSJ, it's very annoying to try to get SSJ, because you have very little space to work with. You can SSJ, I just prefer not to. Okay. Oh, of course I landed on this. Jeez, really? Okay, well. Yeah, I don't have trouble with this normally, but it's been a while. That should work. Yep, I hugged the wall a bit more than usual there, so that worked. Okay. Touch that. And we just skipped a horrible mini-boss. Probably one of the worst bosses in the entire series, honestly. Not even me. It's a really terrible fight. Very badly designed, too, and very luck-oriented, for no good reason. Luck in a sense that doesn't even add anything to the fight. Well, I guess we're picking up this bomb part. Oh, we're not picking it up, never mind. We're not picking it up, never mind. Wait a second, I can't leave! Shit. I cannot leave. Can't corrupt myself. I forgot I don't have command badge. I can't leave this way. Shoot. I can't hyper mode death. I don't have corruption. Well, or is there anything that can damage me here? No, there isn't. I don't think this opens up after you beat Berserker Lord. Is a problem. This doesn't open up again. So I think this is actually a soft lock. Oh, you're about to see why this fight sucks. But like, let's see. Check. Well, this is not the fight's fault. This is me breaking the game. Sure. Or maybe no. Maybe I can do this. Because it should respawn me before that checkpoint. I should be able to go backwards. I might be fine. Because this will shut the checkpoint to me in front of the door, but I can just back off. And that should work. Okay. This should work. Hopefully. Fuck. It did not work. It did not work. We are redoing a lot of this now. That is unfortunate. That's entirely on me for forgetting that, so. I haven't saved in a really long time. I did save, but I still have to redo a lot, so. Yeah. That's entirely on me. That's entirely on me. I think I saved after I got Seeker Missiles. But I got a lot of stuff after that, so I'm gonna have to redo pretty much everything. Which is unfortunate, but that's what I did. I can get to Xeno Research Labs. I just have to do the SSJ way. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Lost that, that, I think? And that, I think. And this and this. I think I have secrets. Yeah, I do. Do I? Okay, wait, do I have Spider Ball? If I have Spider Ball, this won't be as bad, but I do. I kept Spider Ball. Okay, good. Okay. Got so and swing. Okay. I need to go this way. Whew. How's everyone's evening while we redo about 30 minutes of content? Because Alicia. Yeah, this is honestly very demotivating. Makes me not want to keep going, but I'll put up with it for now. It happens. It happens. That's entirely on me for making that mistake. It happens. It happens. Okay. Lesson to be learned. Yeah, no, that's it. It's just the fact I forgot I need Command Visor for that, so that's just how it is. It is what it is. Oh, I don't actually have that pencils. Should be boxes here, hopefully. If this game is well designed. We did boom those boxes. Nope. Yeah, no retracing stuff just kind of sucks, but yeah, shit happens. Alright, we need missile drops. I really wish I had missile tanks, honestly. Not even memeing. I should hopefully reload the room. Let's see. That did not reload the room. I don't think there's anything that gives me drops here. See, I have to like leave all the way and come back to reload, I think. Just as Echoes, they would put lots of stuff that could give you missile drops pretty easily there. But in Corruption, there's no way to reload the room conveniently. And only like those two boxes, which didn't give me drops. It's as if Echoes was a well-designed game. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is a very late in the game, but still. And that's not going to game missiles, I think. You know, let's go to defense drone first, because I get a missile tank there. I can't believe I'm doing an area first because I get a missile tank in a corruption randomizer. Okay, well that's a missile drop, but I still want to go get the missile tank anyways, because those seekers can miss, because corruption seekers aren't not great. And if that happens, I have to redo all this all over again. So, yeah. I think I forgot to undo my energy cell count too. I should be at 0. I think. Actually, let's check really quickly. Inventory. I can't remember which one it is actually. Logbook. I know there's an option for energy cells. I'm trying to remember where they are though, but shoots. Well, maybe I actually have 0 and it's just not showing up. That might be the case. Okay. That item I just passed by is an energy cell. Don't get it on my way out. I think. Missile tank, come to me. Don't underestimate missile tanks and corruption. I honestly don't really know how the vulnerability works this grid. Like, I think it's vulnerable when it's not flashing. Like now it's vulnerable. Yeah, like that. There we go. Missile tank collected. Missile tank appreciation and corruption. A few drops. Which way? That was this way. Okay. Okay. So get a quick snack. Okay. Snack during speedrun, indeed. It's peasantry. It's like a small little chocolate pastry I got from H Mart. I don't remember what it's called. Ote, I think? That's what it says in Korean. Okay. Get an energy cell. And see if that changes this. Yes, it does. Okay, so that was absolutely my first one. Got it. Okay, that was my first energy cell. Oh. I forgot that you can just screw attack across this, and it's way faster than the boost slot because, you know, the boost slots are terrible in this game. Easy. Okay. Now let's go back this way. Okay. There we go. Get my hyper mode. Also forgot to keep screw attack marked off. I don't know why that's not marked. Okay. Okay, and the item here is an E-tank, which I really want. Oh, oops. Okay. And I've already seen the spider track again. Okay. Oh, all right. Wait, is this the right way? No. I went too far. Okay, gonna want to open up the landing site in Gore. Gonna have to do this again because Alicia has all these ongoing events. Right. Talk to it first.
The Aurora unit is corrected and
Okay, they all just kind of missed. Cool. I mean, those are more the awkward angles, to be fair. Okay. Hey Shasta, thanks for the raid. Hope you're streaming well. How's your evening been? Okay, cutscene. Evening being, actually it's probably just 6 p.m. for people in the Pacific time, but yeah. Evening being. Is doing a lot of annoying event stuff.
What a terrible
Because this area is annoying.
We have communed with we have a plan. Gore's plasma can Gore may have changed.
Okay. Okay. Reload this room. Oh, thanks. Congrats on that. Take those. Okay. I missed that game. That game's pretty awesome. I used to run it forever ago. I don't think people even know that I used to run that game or route it, or help route it 100%. But it is what it is. That was over a decade ago. Okay. Yes, I used to play Kirby games. Surprise. Okay, yeah, this is a corruption randomizer, and we are retracing our steps because we saw fucking have to redo a chunk of it, but don't worry, you're almost done retracing our steps. And we'll see how this rest of the seed goes, because we've almost finished recollecting everything we lost. So, kind of. Okay. Okay, let's go this way. Yeah, randomizers are fun, especially all the Prime ones. Especially Prime 2, definitely the best of the three by far, but they're all great. They're all great randomizers. Okay, I want to go this way.
Auto repair functions complete. Ship is ready. Ship status update. Auto repair functions complete. Ship is ready for use. Ship status alert. Unknown entity.
Then we want to open up this
approaching.
landing site so we can fly here
Commencing
later
hull
on,
lockdown.
because that's probably going to be important. It'll be useful.
Samus, this was surely a result. I will unlock this area.
Excuse me. We don't have command visor yet, though, so we can't actually fly out of here, but it is good to unlock it at least. So. Okay, I was hoping for some dynamic drop rates, but I guess those buffers don't drop anything or something? I don't know. I don't know. Alright. Okay, and... oh. That's a problem. I don't know. Okay, that's enough. It is a S-grunt in chat. Okay, let's go back up here. And try not to bonk. Okay. Okay. Time for break because game immersion. I really do miss the much faster boost slots from Prime 1 and 2. They are so much worse in this game. They're so bad in this game, my goodness. It's just why. I hope you enjoy your immersion of having to take about 30 seconds extra longer for every boost slot in the game. They're really bad. I think it's actually like around 20 seconds, but it's still pretty ridiculous. Repeatedly, that's wrong. Anyways. See. I know there are more pirates. I want to get rid of them before I go for this. Yep, okay. Okay. Then... make it! Hey! First try again. Let's go. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate! That's a very unfortunate. Whoopsies. Yeah, you just take that. It takes you to the upper zip line to Xeno Research, which you're supposed to take on the way back. It's the elevator you're supposed to take on the way back. Afterwards, but you can just take it backwards instead. which you can do in the vanilla game too. It is what people call early seekers, which is not really true, because, But that route actually used to be part of the 100% route for like 2 months, and then it changed like almost immediately again. I was the one who made that route, where you get the piston hull, missile tank. You use the secret water balance and piston hull to get the item in here actually without spider ball. And then and then from there, it's a convenient trip to go back to go to Xeno Research Lab, since you're right by the upper zip lines, anyways. That used to actually be part of the 100% route. Thankfully, no longer, not anymore. But I contributed to Corruption 100% a little bit, just a little bit. So I am proud of my contributions. Like world records are nice and all, but like honestly, being able to say something like I contributed this to this route means so much more to me than saying I used to have this best time here. Honestly, I mean obviously differences between different people, but like I can legitimately say that like I contributed like a strat here and there to Dread speedrunning even, for example, even though I never actually ran the game. Or I wrote the route, or I wrote the current route for what's it called, Sacred Stones Erica route. Like, even though there has been route changes for that since, I can say I contributed that. And the game can just eat your screw attacks like that. Yeah, thankfully I didn't commit too hard to running for Corruption 100% too much with the piston hall routes. Oh my god. Camera, please, camera! Urgh. Okay, there we go. Ooh, okay, good. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this pretty much has to be in logic. This is like under intermediate logic, I think. So this would fit under intermediate difficulty, I feel like. Might as well boom this up so we don't have to do that again. Unlock the elevator. It's not every day you see someone actually use to open this. Oh, you meant the whole finding things stuff. Yeah, that too. That's why I've never really speedrun Dread. I just done silly challenges without studying runs either. Like I've seen speedruns, but I've never like studied them. So because I'd rather come up with strats on my own, and then some stuff actually has come out of that before. Some stuff not so much, obviously. Corruption! Or not! I think I kind of want to use a set of secrets because they home, and I need that. There we go. Still getting some mileage out of secret missiles, despite the fact that I have hyper mode. Because I would not want to use hyper mode on that because I would just miss since the pirate's so far away. I wanted to go down here now. Because I can't actually keep taking that door because there's an elevator that with a secret lock that I can only open from the other side. I should be safe saving. I should have everything I need to get out. I have secrets already, that's the big thing I need. So I should be good. I should be good. Lack of command bite is not going to hurt me anywhere here. I have boost ball. I have seekers. I think those are the main things I need. Okay. Yeah, the door closers are randomized. Okay, well that's unfortunate, although it will absolutely be appreciated because running around spamming secrets with only 10 missiles is not fun. Those are not secret locks, by the way. You can only open those from the other side because programming shortcuts. I don't want to say lazy programming, but I will say programming shortcuts. Because, like, from a vanilla standpoint, why would you ever program those blocks to work? Because you can't use them in a vanilla game like that. You have to come out the outside. But it's like, I almost said lazy programming. Which, I mean, I technically just did. But I'm trying to use different phrases, like shortcuts. Which you absolutely do all the time in development, for good reason. Yeah, exactly. No reason to program something to do something if we'll never have a normal play, for the most part, you know. So, it's not really like a knock on development or anything. It's perfectly fair shortcut. Unlike, say, something like Three Houses, Cinder Shadows, where 5 out of 7 maps of a $25 side campaign is literally copy pasta. Then that's a different story. Oh, yep, there. Well, that could be X-ray visor. I think that's command visor. Okay, missile tank too. Yeah, this has to be command visor. It is command visor. Okay. We can escape. We can escape. Yes. Alright, please give me missile drops, because I kind of need them. Thank you. Hey, Tag, how's it going? It's gonna be Elisara, sorry. My brain still reads your name as that name. I apologize. Hope you're having a good evening. Okay. Elisara. We did have an Elysia start, and it was actually pretty interesting, not gonna lie, so I didn't really mind it. I only have 2 missiles. Oh, well now I have 0 missiles. Missile drop? Great. Yeah, lack of missiles is gonna kind of hurt me. I did pick up I should have picked up missiles. I mean, unless you're talking about the one in the glass, which in that case, I haven't passed by that one again yet. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that would work, being like turning on hyper mode and holding the missile button, but it did. So this. I actually don't remember where I'm supposed to go. Oh, there's a mini map there. Should help. The Metroid's got on. I love this area in the game. Is so good. Like you know they're gonna break out. And then when you see that juicy upgrade, you're like, ooh, I want that, but oh no, I don't want that. Welcome to Corruption Combat, by the way. Can I bomb this? I'm curious. No! No! I want that missile tank! I want that missile tank! Missile drop, missile drop, missile drop, missile drop. Never have you seen me get so excited over getting an extra missile tank in freaking Corruption. Because it's Corruption. Like, why would you ever care? And like, keep in mind, even though I have hyper mode, I don't have charge beam. It's like missile eagers can still be pretty damn useful despite that. Alright, don't care about you. It's gonna walk past you. Alright, at least it has like 90% full cleared, honestly. Yeah, pretty much. My only way out to fly... Oh, I could fly out through landing side A, but I'm just go to landing side B. Suggested. Okay. I mean, might as well. One here, one in that corner. The others are easier to get something farther. Actually, yeah, no, I'm gonna keep going this way. Because I still need to get the check at landing site B, and there's also an easy energy tank I can get on the way. So. F? Okay, good. Are alive? Yeah, they are. Oh, whoops. I kind of just wanted to make sure that they don't boom these boxes. That's a plasma door. I really just want to get the E-Tank, that's why I'm stopping by here really quickly. E-Tanks are good, especially in Corruption. Well, Yeah. Because, you know, hyper mode. And health. Cool. Ow. Ow. Whew. I just realized, I think I can full clear Norian. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can full clear Norian. That's actually probably going to be my first stop really quickly. I still need to find out a few other things. Basic, I still need, so like, I can get a hint for hyper missiles and hyper grapple, but I know nothing about the location for Nova Beam and X-ray, which I do need for the end of Valhalla. So like, it is still worth it for me to go for Densi Protects instead of Valhalla, especially since I don't even have that many energy cells. I only have one, so I kind of want to put out Valhalla until I have at least 3, ideally 5. Randomized welding colors is such a nice idea. I love it, honestly. It's just very nice, minor, but also kind of a, ooh, that's fancy kind of feel. Welding for bots? Ah, no! Ah! Oh, okay, well that works, I guess. No! Oh, that one's gone hyper. We're not. Oh, we're not gonna... Bull! Okay, we're not getting bowling for bots today, unfortunately. Ideally, I would have Nova and X-ray as well before I go through Valhalla, right? Although Valhalla itself could have Nova and X-ray. That is absolutely possible. Okay. Let's keep it chugging along.
Samus, I will unlock this area, allowing you to command your ship to land.
Do you want me to be streaming for longer than 9 hours? I should ban you for that. Achievements, I mean, I kind of wish there were more silly achievements in Corruption. There were like 4 or 5 pretty fun ones. I just wish there were more of them. They definitely got kind of creative and silly with them. But they could have done more with it, but oh well. I'll take it. I could go back and get the E-Tech Gearworks, but that's a bit out of the way at this point, so eh. Don't really want to bother. Okay, thing I really need. Energy cells. I mean, obviously Nova Beam and X-ray as well, but like, energy cells are like what I really need to like get more of Valhalla. To make going to Valhalla worth it at this point. I can full clear Norian though, I think. Yeah, I can full clear Norian, which is weird to say. So let's go ahead and just full clear right now. Yes, there's more to this game than Alicia for once. Hour and a half of Alicia. I think I've had enough of it for this stream. What's this? Okay. I mean, I don't need more than 25 minutes. 25 minutes. What is this? But I really want to find our ship missiles. Because that means I can cheese an Norian fight. The Norian hopper fight, whatever. And then just get some water while holding the Z button. Stare, indeed. Okay, let's see what the check is here. Going through this cute little Morphball maze, which you can do this pretty early actually in the game, so. Like after you do the entire early game Norian sequence, you can just come back here and get this if you want to. It's just a missile tank though, so eh. Oh, almost made it. What is it? Another missile tank. I mean, by the time I saw it, I'm just like, well, it cost me less than a second to get. Might as well get it. Red. Ooh, I like this color. I think with okay, so even as a randomizer, I think when Gollop, in Gollop's most recent patch, which was like over a year ago, he like turned on a toggle that lets you use ship missiles in more outdoor rooms, which really says a lot about how bad they are in vanilla games. It's still not even that much, even though when he went out of his way to let them be used in more areas that you normally can't. You just FYI, you know. I think, to my understanding. Hey, energy cells. Good, good, good. Okay, I'm gonna go through here really quickly. No, they are not usable on Elysia at all. I think. Now I'm curious, I want to check, but I don't want to go back to Elysia just to check. I don't think they are. That sounds like something to ask Gollop at some point. I can't tell if like he actually cares about like making changes to this anymore or not. I've never really talked to him about it, because ultimately he's doing it entirely in his own free time and not getting paid at all or whatnot, so it's his time. So I'm very thankful for the work he put into this. But that was garbage, unfortunately. Time to go back. Maybe the reason they do let you use on Elysia maybe is because it would be unstable or something. Because like you're technically on a bunch of floating buildings and you booming them. You're like in Elysia, you're not on the actual planet. Keep that in mind. You're not on the actual planet in Elysia. So if you use ship missiles, you boomed it like the entire floating building, which would make sense if they explained it that way, and I would be okay with that. That's probably why, but they never really bothered explaining it. Oh, that is something. Oh, speaking of which. Pirate Homeworld's a different story. It's not just like Pirate Homeworld isn't really like a bunch of floating buildings. It would be lame, but it would make sense to me too, personally. Like, I mean, you have a floating building connected by all these wires as well. It's gonna be pretty unstable to boom them with a bunch of ship missiles. I don't have ship missiles. Oh right, it doesn't kill them. Oh, well that works, I guess. I did not know he was so hyper. Okay, I learned. Almost anything. I mean, yeah, but those. No. What? Like, that. I did not know those could go hyper. Oh, is the seed? We kind of had to redo like 30 minutes of it, unfortunately, but that's okay. It happens. It's not like I'm gonna PB with this. I don't have Nova! I don't have Nova. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I don't have Nova. Alright, well, Secret Missiles, do your thing, hopefully. I mean, like, I still would do this, because, like, this is full clearing Orion, so I think it's still a good idea. It just still sucks. Alright, I hope you're ready to see me do that 3 more times. Hit one at least. Now I just have to book these shots and some out of this. Good design here. Actually, I just realized. Oh, that was nice. Okay, I was trying to grapple voltage it in case that did anything, but it doesn't. That would be pretty awesome if you could. It would not surprise me if no one ever bothered trying, because no one tries using grapple voltage on enemies, unsurprisingly. Understandably as well. But no, it doesn't do anything. It would be really clever if you could grapple voltage it, honestly, but alas. Alright, last check. Norian. Vanilla energy cell. I mean, sure, we take those. So we didn't get any major items, but we did get 2 energy cells out of all this. I think that's all the items I care about. Yeah, that's junk. That's junk. Junk, junk. Yeah, we're done with Orion. We're done with Orion. Metroid hatches came in. Well, yeah, I know, but like, still, it would be cool if they made it like if they made it did something at least. But oh well. I think if it did, then it would absolutely be something that's like intentional. So obviously, it's not like you would cheese it instantly. Grapple voltage. All right. You use grapple. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I'm gonna do the Valhalla play right now. Get my hints. I can get almost everything. I just cannot go to the end basically, which I mean like, nah, yeah, but like getting the hyper. Like I don't know if I want to do Pirate Homer or Brio. The problem is I have too many options now, and so relatively few items to look for. Is the problem I have right now, and I want that. So like if I commit to exploring Brio, and like nothing happens to neither of my items happen to be there, I'm just chasing a giant red herring. I mean, of course, there's a chance I could find Nova Beam there or something, but I want something to go off of at least. I want something to go off of before I start committing to clearing out Brio or Pirate Homeworld. Hyper Missiles are on Pirate Homeworld. Okay. That's one reason to go to Pirate Homeworld next, although this decision is not going to help me at all if Hyper Grapple ends up being on Brio. So, we'll see. We'll see. If we're really lucky, we might also just happen to find X-Ray and Nova Beam in this area, honestly. Like, that's definitely possible. Very unlikely, but possible. Ship missile. Oh, I like the Nova doors, the purple doors. I like how they look. If we're lucky, hyper missiles on Omega, really. I've been streaming for 7 hours. Are you trying to turn me into a full-time streamer? I don't want to be a full-time streamer. I've seen what full-time streamers do. It's so exhausting. How do they do it? I don't say this as a negative thing. I just mad respect. Fuck. Damn it! You're supposed to narrow my options, not make no changes. Come on. F. Missile tank. Damn it. Like, if I were to commit to full-time streaming, I would probably still be speedrunning. I would either still be speedrunning Metroid, or I would probably never ever be streaming again because of burnout. Because I used to probably get like regularly over 200 viewers from Metroid speedruns at the time. That's how I got partner. And then I kind of started running other games, and then people stopped caring. I think almost everyone just kind of gave up on me speedrunning Metroid seriously, which, I mean, whatever. But if I were to like actually care about my view counts seriously, and like, which you have to care about it if you're a full-time streamer, then yeah, that would just be miserable, honestly, for me. That would just be Echoes again. I mean, like, it's not gonna be impossible per se, but I'm never gonna say it's gonna happen. That's a missile thing. Especially since like there's a lot of other people who are just going all in, crazy in on it now. I do want to run Shadows of Valencia again in improvement time and look for more arcades. I absolutely want to go back to that. Same with Fates. 3DS Fire Emblem speedruns. You don't see that every day. For a good reason, because we don't read these games. Alright, we got nothing out of this. Although we got some hints, at least. We got some hints. One saying go to Brio. One saying go to Pirate Homeworld. I really want to run Shadows of Valencia in like RPG Limit Break or GDQ someday. It's never gonna get into GDQ. It's too long for what it is and too black screening. But like I legitimately want to because it's like the kind of speedrun where it's like it's chaotic and it is actually like really fun improvisation. Going for a PB is terrible in that game, but like talking about it, commentating over it, doing a showcase run is very fun. It seems just like a very fun thing to do. So like I legitimately really want to like unironically run it for some marathon at some point. But like going for a real PB, serious PB is pretty miserable. Oh, oops, a reinforcement showed up on what's it called? The guy's name called. On the fort, I don't remember the guy's name. You just lost 5 minutes and out of your control, and you can't do anything about it. And you can probably game over. Great. I hope you enjoy that improvisation of just flat out losing over 5 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating. You can lose even more than 10 minutes if you get badly timed reinforcements, and there's nothing you can do about it. Could get right, huh? Yeah, let's Brio first. Yeah. Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia, it's called Fire Emblem Echoes. So that's why you hear a lot of jokes about that. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia. Like the series that like probably 80% of my chat doesn't care about, which, you know, understandable. I don't think there's really much overlap between Metroid and Fire Emblem, really, relatively speaking. Okay. Alright, let's see. It is technically called Dark Echoes. That's in Missile Tank. You're not wrong. Okay. That missile tank's convenient because it just drops me into its bomb slot, which will open up the door to the Grand Court area. I mean, Hillside Beast, I should say. I also think people really overestimate my abilities as a prime speedrunner. Like, people like talk about how I'm like one of the best prime speedrunners. No. I'm more well known, sure, that doesn't mean good. That does not mean good, honestly. And that people saying that stuff like that make me very uncomfortable when there are like probably 30 Prime 1 speedrunners way better than me. Incomparably better than me. Like probably like 10 Prime 2 speedrunners better than me as well. So. At least at the time, Fusion and Zero Mission, I would be less uncomfortable with people saying that. At the time, at least. Because I was definitely one of the top runners at the time. So I'd be less uncomfortable with people saying that. I can't see what that is. E-tank. I mean, let's take it. I mean, nowadays I'm obviously not going to be good anymore because I don't run in it actively, and the game's changed quite a bit. Both games. I actually did a race with Hercules bench press and JRP or Fusion any %, and that was at the time where I was kind of retired from Metroid speedrun. But I was like, well, I offered it because why the heck not? And I actually got in. I don't think I ever streamed Fusion any % during that GDQ. Like I never streamed that. I just did all my practice. I did all my practice just on my SP, and did pretty well with it, honestly. And okay, well, found Nova Beam. That's nice. One less thing I need to find. Oh, you're talking about when I ran Zero Mission because they needed fill time. Yeah, that was 2014. Yeah, that was 2014. I think I did a fusion race with JRP and Hercules at like 2016, I think. 2016 HDQ. Don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I mean, in the same SGDQ 2014, I did do a 1% fusion race with Biospark and Jagger G. I think I won that race. I could be remembering wrong. But we were all kind of disappointed in ourselves because we were really hoping that at least one of us would do a deathless run, but all of us died once in that race, unfortunately. It was probably the only Metroid race that was not a blowout in GDQ. I'm both making fun of other Metroid races, especially Super Metroid, and the fact that yeah, it was actually one of those few races, Metroid races, that was not a complete blowout for one racer at least, because we all actually finished. But that's not a Super Metroid specific thing, by the way. There was a Zero Mission race forever ago where one runner didn't finish as well, and we did it in the Fusion 90% race. I did with Herc. Herc also did not finish because he died. He died on a spot that none of us would ever really think about saving, but we really should have. At the time, all of us really should have at least done some gentleman's agreement of an extra E-tank. So yeah, that's the thing. The legendary Super Metroid race wasn't even that close. It was very close between two people, and the other two, it was a blowout. But one of them died. The third one was very far behind. It was only considered legendary because the two racers that were at the top were close, but it was still ultimately a blowout for the half of the racers. And then they just kind of kept taking Super Metroid races where almost everyone kept dying. And then they finally stopped doing that, thankfully. I have strong feelings about it because it's really unfair to expect runs to finish, but not have that expectation on just Super Metroid. And it's clear they really did not care, at least for a while, because they just kept taking the races even though someone kept dying over and over again. And then it's understandable to have a little bit of leeway in a race setting, but you absolutely should really set the expectations on all games to always finish. So, no, I don't think there was a single Super Metroid race where everyone finished. I don't think. I could be remembering wrong, but I don't think there was a single race that everyone finished. I could be remembering wrong. The only Metroid race where everyone finished was the Fusion 1% race. Between me, Biospark, and Jaggerty. And in that case, that was because we expected to die, so we actually took safety saves and stuff. We all did die once. I think that was legitimately the only Metroid race ever done in the GDQ where everyone finished. Including the fusion race that Herc and I and JRP did. Herc still died. He kind of didn't finish, although he did a really funny thing where like after he died, he just kind of sat there and watched us. But like when JRP got to the last save, he loaded up the last save to make it look like a race. So that was honestly really funny, and I have mad respect to Herc for that. But yeah. Yeah, there was that one race where like 3 out of 4 racers died, and I think Behemoth was the last one. The only one who finished. He was still very close to dying too. I think, if I remember correctly. Like, I know it's terrible of me to say this, but a small part of me was hoping he would die, just because not because like I wanted to do horribly, but because I would have been curious to see like what the heck GDQ staff would have done in that case. Not because I want the race to like be bad, but because I wanted to see. I was curious, legitimately curious, like know like what would they have done in this case. Because they raised so much money, but like everyone died. So like what would the staff have done in that kind of scenario? Because that was absolutely on the table. That absolutely could have happened and was very realistic. Obviously I think it's terrible to like wish someone would do really badly. So I don't mean it in like a malicious way, but more of a what would the GDQ staff have done if this was the case kind of way. I also have ship grapple. I can do this. But yeah, basically, if you're doing a race, try to have gentlemen's agreements and stuff. That goes for myself too. Like for the Fusion 90% race, Herc, me, and JRP really should have had some gentlemen's agreements to like even just get like 1 extra energy tank, just to guarantee that safety net that we would finish. Yeah, morbid curiosity is how I put it. Yeah. Oh, welcome back, Dave. I was there. In that Super Metroid race that Behemoth finished. I think I was there. I was actually there in the audience. Yeah, I was there, definitely there in the audience. Okay. Yeah, no, Herc did a pretty cool creative thing where like he just kind of loaded up the save after dying. Right when JRP got there, so it kind of looked like a race between him and JRP even though he died. So that was like honestly very clever thinking on his part. So it also just really goes to show Metroid is not a good series for racing. Like honestly, until Samus Returns. Okay, this game, Samus Returns, and Dread would be better for racing because they all have a checkpoint system. This game less so because this game is very, 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 very punishing on the tricks. Still, despite the checkpoint system. Like Samus Returns and Dread would work fine as races because they have a checkpoint system, even though those are very difficult games in terms of like not dying. I do think this game definitely deserves another showing. Claris was very much not happy with her showing of it, which is understandable with how early the ECO went. But there's been a lot of changes to this game since, and it would be really good to have another showing of this game. But I don't know if that will ever really happen. We'll see. Yeah, like again, like Metroid games as a whole really just aren't great for races, really, in general. And that's not really shade. That's specific as for Metroid, but I mean Metroid as a whole, period. At least until Samus Returns. Yeah, technically, Other M would be a better race than Super Metroid and the GBA Metroids. Not even maybe. It would kind of be a better race because that game also has a checkpoint system. That game has a checkpoint system. I don't think that game's ever getting into GDQ. Like, people say, "Oh, Other M will be good for Alpha GDQ," and I'm like, no, it wouldn't. Because I think if you say that, then you're completely missing the point of Alpha GDQ. Other M is bad for a lot of reasons, none of which are entertaining reasons. So yeah, Dread came out like a month after HDQ submissions, which honestly is probably for the best. Really, Because, I mean, maybe I'm kind of being slightly gatekeepy by saying this, but I would rather have someone who's like been super consistently involved with the game run the game than just someone who just hopped on the game for the first month and then is probably not going to touch it again. That personally, at least, like someone who's like really consistently involved with the community and like having the game get showed off a half year after. I know this is terrible of me to say, but that kind of filters out a lot of like the month 1 or month 2 worst, I guess, if that makes any sense. They typically have a late submission period for later games, but they just didn't have that this year. I assume because, you know, online setting and stuff, I don't know. Either way, Dread is absolutely getting in, and like, there are a lot of very good runners that have been consistently running in the game, like B-Doc, C. Scotty, Oats and Goats. Oats is a cool guy, by the way. I know I say a lot of negative things about Super Metroid, so like people kind of just assume that I don't like Super Metroid runners, but no, that is not true at all. Like, Super Metroid runners are pretty cool. Toasty is a pretty awesome dude. Oats is also pretty awesome, pretty chill. So, yeah, they're pretty cool guys. Very, very good runners, very friendly. Comfy streams. Yeah, it's more like the fan base that I really dislike, not the actual like speedrunning community. Because for the most part, the speedrunners are cool. I don't have anything against Super Metroid speedrunners. They're generally pretty cool. What is that shit missile thing? Well, I hope I don't eat this, but we'll see. It's really uncommon for me to like outright dislike a specific person. Just FYI, or dislike an actual speedrunning community, I'll say. Although to be fair, even if I did, I probably wouldn't be saying that. I probably would still say that anyways. But yeah. I've seen like 3 or 4 people stream their first playthrough of Super Metroid. And probably like 2 or 3 of them have also played Zero Mission. Like they all basically have the same kind of opinion of like it's a very good game of its time, but it has a lot of issues, especially aging issues, and a lot of them generally prefer Zero Mission, which is why I generally recommend Zero Mission as the first Metroid game, because it's just better polished than Super Metroid, much better polished than Super Metroid, and doesn't have as many aging issues as Super Metroid. Although it's still a very good game, though. Don't get me wrong. It is still a fantastic game. Okay. I've lost track of what I was doing. I think I've just been going around Brio. Yeah, I basically full clear just got like nothing but energy cells. No, I got Nova Beam. Yeah, I got Nova Beam. Yeah, like honestly, the controls are the big thing for me. Big deal breaker for me. I do not like having to press a select button 3 times to use Grapple Beam or something like that every single time. And do it all over again to go back to my beam. It's very annoying. Not a fan. And like normal missiles in Super Metroid are like near useless after like the first 2 hours. So like that first select button you do is always going to be not productive because you're almost always want to toggle past missiles to use super missiles or your grapple beam or even X-ray. So like because of that, you're always doing an extra select input every single time. You're just, yeah, not a fan of it at all. Wait, did I actually upgrade this? I don't think I upgraded this actually. I never upgraded this. Glad I just remembered. Oh, well, it gave me a missile tank. Gotcha. Like one quirk that I never really realized that's kind of a negative, honestly, is okay, so you can boom the water pipe that leads to Meridia, okay? You can do that. But there's a big problem, and there's a platform you can reach that's barely out of reach. Unless you do a space jump. Unless you have gravity, you can't reach it. But they really should have made that a lot more obvious and higher, because like I think I was watching Nukes who was playing, and she just accidentally did a ledge grab, which got her up there. She accidentally glitched the game and got up there, and then she was completely thrown off by the red herring and just committed like, and then just ran around Meridia for like an hour because of that, which is not her fault at all, honestly. That's just the game being bad about that red herring. And I think that's a legitimate issue. Because like they clearly like want to like tease you with that, but you're not supposed to be able to actually get into Meridia that way. But like it's only like a half block out of your reach. So if you accidentally do like a ledge grab, which you absolutely can do, because all that is pressing a shoulder button on accident, then you just end up in there and you're like, oh, okay, you don't need gravity suit to come here. Okay, I think I need to go here next. And given that Super Metroid gives you literally 0 guidance on where to go generally, you might unironically think you have to do something there. Because at that point in the game, you're supposed to go all the way back to the top of Brinstar, all the way to Rex ship, to Phantom. But the game gives you literally 0 indicator of that. You just have to run around and hope you stumble upon that. So, yeah. That's in my opinion, that's the kind of case of the game being too open and not restrictive enough. So, and I think that can be an actual flaw in the case of like a Metroid game. So, too many red herrings and stuff, or at least if you're gonna have some sort of red herring like that, at least have a reward for it. Like getting Dark Burst if you explore Aegon a bit early after getting Seekers, for example. Something like that. Bottom line though, Super Metroid is a very good game. It just has a lot of issues with it that people don't really want to acknowledge, which is why you hear me rag on it a lot. But then, it's still a very good game. Okay, certainly a product of its time. And you know, it's a Super Nintendo game. People like nostalgia whoring over anything from the Super Nintendo era. So. Because you'll hear people say the same thing about Link to the Past, which I have way more issues with Link to the Past than Super Metroid. I think Link to the Past is extremely overrated. I am not a fan of that game. I think it's a good game, but there's a lot of stuff I do not like about it. Either that or like a lot of things people credit it for that shouldn't be credited. Like how people say, oh, you can do the dungeons in literally any order, but people don't credit Link Between Worlds for that, because even though Link Between Worlds is way better than Link to the Past in terms of how it handles that. Because in the low roll area of Link to Between Worlds, the only restriction you have in dungeons is I think you have to do Thief's Hideout before Sand Palace. That's the only restriction in low roll of Link Between Worlds. That's the only restriction. Otherwise, you can do any dungeon in any order whatsoever. And Link to the Past is a lot more restricted in that way, because you need the hammer to get out of the dungeon area 1, and you need Titan's Myths to do like dungeon 5 through 7, I think, and so on. Like those are the big things off the top of my head. Yeah, it's funny. I've seen people shit on Link Between Worlds for being non-linear, which is so annoying, because I've seen those same people praise Link to the Past for doing that, and it's like, no, you're literally objectively wrong, because Link to the Past is way more restrictive than Link Between Worlds with your dungeon order. It's really obnoxious and dumb. And that's absolutely, like, it's fine to like Link to the Past, but I just cannot stand when people have those ridiculous double standards like that. It's so dumb. Oh, you do not want to get me started on Skyward Sword. People complaining about it being linear. Is it linear? Yes. Is it more linear than Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? Hell no. I think Skyward Sword gets way more shit than Twilight Princess and Wind Waker for... Yeah. It's not... It gets a very unfair treatment. So I've said this a lot in other chats before, but here's a fun story, okay? Okay, so I was talking to someone in chat saying how Skyward Sword's really bad because it's more linear than Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That person said their argument about Wind Waker being less linear is that they said you can do Wind Temple before Earth Temple. guess what? You can't. You cannot. Makar is literally not there until after you beat Earth Temple. So you literally cannot do Wind Temple before Earth Temple. This proves two things to me about that person. One, they did not bother fact-checking. They did not bother fact-checking. Because they were thoroughly convinced about this. And two, because they never fact-checked this, they never actually tried playing the game. They never bothered trying to do Wind Temple before Earth Temple. Which is extremely hypocritical, because that meant the fact that the game was non-linear didn't matter to them at all. Because they didn't even bother checking. So that's my favorite argument, because you're just being a literal hypocrite by saying that, and just proving my point about how nostalgia blind you are, and how much of a double standard you have. Now, is it bad for games to be linear? No, it's not bad. I'd say that's probably a good thing, to a degree. No, Skyward Sword is absolutely more non-linear, because it has a Song of the Hero quest. You can do that, then that is a major part of the game that's required, and you can do that in literally anywhere. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have nothing like that. The closest thing Twilight Princess has to a non-linear order is doing the Skybook quest, which doesn't even really count, because that's not a major part of it. That's not like an actual dungeon or whatever. So like Skyward Sword is like literally less linear than the other games. Objective fact. Like I don't see a way to argue that. Now, the Song of the Hero quest itself is annoying, and probably everyone's least favorite part of the game. To be fair, that's true. It is my least favorite part of Skyward Sword. Does that mean it's not? Does that mean it's linear? No, it is non-linear still. It just means it's a bad non-linear part of the game. But the entire game is still way less linear than Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. So, yeah. Yeah. So like, I mean, it's fine to like just say you dislike Skyward Sword more or something like that. Fine, it has issues for sure. Just don't say something like it's way more linear than Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Therefore, it's bad because that's just wrong. And then, yeah. Ugh. That being said, Skyward Sword absolutely has a lot of its issues, such as Song of the Hero quest. Song of the Hero quest is, yeah. Like, I actually don't mind the revisits in Skyward Sword, honestly. At least the first revisits, I think they're pretty clever. And I actually like the Silent Realms as well, because they like test your knowledge of that area. But then the next revisits, and especially since like in those, when you're on your first revisits, you're exploring completely new areas of that region. The Song of the Hero quest is just too much though. The Song of the Hero quest is just way too much. Not a fan. Not a fan. Just no. Not a fan of that. That's just where the game just got too much. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, ultimately, it's definitely not a game that will jive with everyone, and, you know, that's fair. Especially if you really don't like motion controls, and that is also perfectly understandable. I think I'm kind of fortunate in that I personally like pretty much every Zelda game, honestly, including, yes, Phantom Hourglass. I actually like that game. But I also, I typically can see, Majora's Mask and Minish Cap are by far my favorites, but I also have issues with them, and, I have played and watched enough of pretty much every Zelda game casually to know what kind of flaws they have, what kind of strengths they have, and really, that's the beauty of the series. Really, is the fact that they're all so different. You're never gonna see any two people with the same top 5 Zelda list, and that's, in my opinion, that's a good thing. You don't need a series to be good, you don't need everyone to agree on one amazing. You don't need everyone to agree on one top best Zelda game for a series to be good. I think it is good that everyone will probably typically have a different favorites list. And I think that is a good thing. If you like Skyward Sword a lot, cool. If Twilight Princess is your favorite, then you're wrong. I'm joking. That's cool. There's a lot of stuff to like about that game as well. And so on and so forth. I guess my issue is when people start making these comparisons that you can somewhat objectively compare, and they just have a clear double standard for that. And that's my issue, for the most part. Like the linearity thing, for example. It's kind of like saying, oh, Wind Waker is worse than Skyward Sword because it has more dungeons. Because that's just wrong. It doesn't have more dungeons. To me, that's what it feels like when people compare the linearity of Skyward Sword. all great. I mean, really, I think pretty much every 3D Zelda game is very good, and there's nothing wrong with having any of them as your top favorite. Really, they're all good. Make a free aim is S. Is it? I found it gyro. At least I found it is awkward with this. I found the gyroscope aiming very nice actually, but that's HD version. That's not the PC version. It's a little different, yeah. I think Skyward Sword isn't really gyroscope aiming. If I remember correctly. Also, exciting boss here. Oh wait. Alright, best boss in the game. I don't wait. Wait, what? I don't have ship missiles! I forgot I don't have ship missiles. Oh no. This is a soft lock. This is a soft lock. I don't have ship missiles. I mean, I can take a death. To be fair. And it'll just warp me back. Yeah, I was like, oh, what? I forgot I don't have ship missiles. In that case, I really shouldn't have come here then. Alright, we're gonna be here for a while. Yeah, Twilight Princess enemies and Wind Waker enemies aren't very good. In general, I was in college once, and I was playing the City in the Sky, which is one of my least favorite dungeons. I hate that dungeon. And I was fighting the boss. And I was like, huh, this boss apparently attacks you when you're on the ground. Let's see if I can get hit by it. It took me like 10 minutes to actually get hit by it intentionally. And it did a total of a half-heart of damage. And this is, by the way, I think the second to last dungeon in the game. A boss that has a hard time hitting you and does half a heart of damage when you probably have like 15. Wind Waker bosses are legitimately a lot more dangerous than Twilight Princess bosses. Like, not even joking. Like the first handful are not that threatening, but Jalhala and Mulgera, they hit you hard. Like, people underestimate them a lot. They do 2 hearts of damage to you, just FYI. Mulgera eating you is 2 hearts. Mulgera eating you while it's charging is 2 hearts. Jalhala hitting you with fire is 2 hearts of damage. And if you didn't really do much questing, then you probably don't have more than 10 hearts. Yeah, they hit you pretty hard. A lot of people underestimate them. Now, like, getting hit by them is a slightly different story, but yeah. Now keep killing him manually. Do it! Do it! Do it! Yes! Yes! Killed with grapple voltage. And we got nothing out of this. Cool. Alright, so there's really nothing here. You will still open a shortcut though, because that's gonna be. I may have to come back here in case Moganar is a thing. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Oh, by the way, the Mulgera boss also, yeah, so Mulgera, when it just sits there and opens his mouth, it does 2 hearts of damage if you fall into it. But when it comes out and flying around and tries to eat you, that also does 2 hearts. Which is, I mean, it's not hard to dodge, but if you get complacent, you'll probably get eaten, so. Like, I think the Wind Waker bosses are like actually a lot more dangerous than Twilight Princess ones, I find, honestly. Then you have a boss, this like the 7th or 8th boss in the game that does a half-heart damage to you. Okay. Cool. In a game where you have way more hearts. I would disagree with them being easier to dodge too, honestly. I just think Twilight Princess bosses are complete wusses. Most of them, at least. They're cool. Some of them are cool, don't get me wrong. Star-Lord is pretty amazing. Okay, maybe not. Not anything about it. Yeah. No, I'd say Wind Waker boss is easier to dodge. Overall. Because I think about Blizzetta, and I think that's her name. Her attacks can be difficult, can be slightly hard to dodge. Star-Lord, if you don't know how to time your splinter jumps, can be annoying to dodge. Though he's really fun as fuck. And then you also have I don't remember the boss, the Fire Temple's boss in Twilight Princess. He's a freaking meme. He like has all these attacks that look really flashy, but like you just hit him once and you just negated everything he can do to you. you like I can guarantee you like probably 90% of people who try Twilight Princess have not seen a single attack from that boss. Like not even memeing, because like you just hit him with an arrow and you just can't do anything anymore. And you're just kind of like, what were they thinking with this boss? What were they smoking with him? Like, at least make him take like 3 arrows or something, so he has a chance to do something that you have to dodge or care about. But, yeah. You can tell I have very mixed feelings on various aspects of Twilight Princess. To me, it is a very overrated game as well. At least, like, I kind of grew up in a time where people kind of heralded it as, like, the best Zelda game ever, or the next coming of OOT. And then, like, I played it, and, like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, like, amazing. It didn't, like, blow my mind amazing, like people kind of kept constantly saying. And I'm just like, really? And, like, the more I play it, and the more I watch people play it, the more I realize how nostalgia hoard and how overrated it is in general. It's just such an overrated game. Not to say it's bad, because again, overrated doesn't mean bad. It is a very good game. Last time I played it, I actually played it on... I think I played it on stream actually like 5 or 6 years ago. Back when I was actually trying to play through every Zelda game on stream, that was forever ago. And like, I respect it a lot more on my replay, but I still think it's overrated as fuck. Like, it is a very good game, but I just, It is a very good game. The fact that I say it's overrated despite being a very good game says a lot about what people have said about Twilight Princess, in front of me at least. So, that's why it really bothers me if people then start shitting on Skyward Sword all the time and then praising Twilight Princess, because it's like, you start seeing a lot of double standards that really bother me a lot. And that's why you hear me shit on Twilight Princess way more than Skyward Sword, because even though I like both games kind of equally, I probably prefer Skyward Sword a bit more, but not by much. I always make it sound like I hate Twilight Princess when I think it's a great game. It's just that you hear nobody say anything negative about Twilight Princess, and no one ever says anything positive about Skyward Sword, is my experience. Which is why I always do the opposite, because like, no one ever really likes to talk about the negatives of Twilight Princess or positive of Skyward Swords. And yeah. That's just me though. Like, obviously people's experiences from like the opinions of those would vary, but So like, I'm sure there are people out there who like think Skyward Sword is very overrated. But, hey, sure. And or surrounded by people who thought Skyward Sword was the best Zelda game ever. Although actually, yeah, that's probably doubtful, honestly. Never hear anyone say that. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I don't have X-ray. I don't have X-ray. Oops. I don't have X-ray. Oops. Oopsies. F. Yeah, Oracle games, my opinions has definitely gone down on them, especially after watching Nukes play them. I still like them, I still think they're great, but they're also still absolutely a product of their time, in my opinion. Although I think Link's Awakening is also a product of its time. I think that game is also very overrated, but it is a very good game. But I think it has a lot of issues that people don't like to admit, but people bring up those issues in Oracles about Link's Awakening. That's how I see that, at least. I don't have X-ray. Because like people talk about how you have to redo so much stuff in the oracles, which is fair. You do. They're really annoying. When you have to like, especially when you die and you have to like redo like enemy rooms, kill enemy rooms over and over again. That is bad. I agree with that. But Link's Awakening has that too. But you never. I mean, like, honestly, I don't think anyone ever says anything about that in Link's Awakening, which honestly bothers me. Because you have to repeat a lot of rooms again and again in Link's Awakening, just like the oracles. And that's the kind of double standard I always get bothered by when people raise an issue with one game, but not the same kind of issue in another game. Because Link's Awakening absolutely does that too. So, like, yeah, I think they're all good, but have not aged very well. And I like saying that Oracles fixed most of the issues with Link's Awakening, which they did, but then they tried a lot of new stuff, which it has its own issues, lots of issues. Oracles have tuning, not Awakening doesn't. Oh, I also am biased. I strongly prefer Oracles to the Link's Awakening because I think there's a lot of roughness on the edges in Link's Awakening. Like telling you what a compass. Did you know that the compass has a new feature every single time? Really bothers me a lot, personally. Which I think the remake is fantastic, honestly. I really like the remake. I know some people don't like it because of like the art style. I think it's very cute though, and I think the remake pretty much fixed all of my personal issues with Link's Awakening. And I really hope that they do Oracles the same treatment at some point, but I don't think that's ever really gonna happen. Unfortunately. Who knows? Because the Oracles absolutely could really do with a remake like that, honestly. Grab me. Oh, she's not grabbing me. Grab me. Grab me. Thank you. You want to be grabbed because that's good, because then she will always like pop right in front of you and you can get a consistent screw attack like that. For whatever reason, screw attack does a lot of damage again. Why? Don't ask me. I'm not complaining though. Faster kill. Alright. What are we getting here? Sad. Sad. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. I think Minish Cap has a very good length to it, really. It doesn't really overstay its welcome, but like it also has a lot to the world, which you will learn if you play a randomizer. There is a lot to the Minish Cap world, which is great for like people who want to like explore it a lot more. But the actual dungeon like it's like just right, I think. The dungeons themselves in Minish Cap are pretty significant, pretty big. Fuck. Shoot. I just autopiloted that. I think I soft locked. Unless that's Hazard Shield up there. I don't think it is. No, it's not. I'm trying to think if there's a way for me to take a death here. I don't think there is though. Because that would work out perfectly if I can take a death abuse here. Yeah, at this point I think I'm screwed, so I'm just gonna have to give it a shot, I guess. I have a lot of energy tanks. I have a lot. So this may be possible with a hazard shield. Very difficult though. But if not, then I'm soft locked. Which I did say before doing Gandrina, so like it's not gonna be that bad, to be honest. It won't be too bad. could just leave and get myself killed in the acid rain. Nope. Nope. Well, I guess we're gonna give this a shot then. Yeah, I just autopiloted it without thinking. Like, and then I kind of forgot I actually don't have every upgrade in the game. Okay. Alright. Alright. Ooh. Go, 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 go. Oh, oh no. Oh no. I can't push. I did not know I can't push that. Wait. Oh, oh, this is a safe spot. Today I learned. Oh. This is a safe spot. Today I learned. No, I think this is F. I cannot, I just can't push this. And the checkpoint's gonna set me back there, so. It is what it is. That's okay. I have other options. Yeah, I was just thinking, being like, huh, I feel like I could tank the, I have like 10 E tanks, I could tank this, I could make it. But nope, the problem isn't the damage, it's, well, it kind of is a damage, but it's the button. That's okay though. I may still need to go to research backwards, honestly, but I kind of don't want to do that right now because that means fighting Gandreda again, and I'm lazy, so. Let's go to Power Command instead. That is unfortunate. Oh, well. It is what it is. That happens. You learn something every day. And that is why I cannot go. That's why I just assumed that Hazard Shield is like required because you just take too much damage, but you know. You live and learn. Live and learn. Okay. What do we got here? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Just like You're kidding me. You're kidding me. This seed finds a way to troll me even after I have like almost everything. I had enough trolling in the Echo Seed. Come on. How do I keep... Yeah, good question. How do I keep doing this? Oh, I might as well open this now. Before the pirates spawn. They don't bother me. Okay. Let's go here. You don't need Hazard Shield to get to this ledge, by the way. There's some safe walkways you're supposed to follow. You're supposed to actually go there without Hazard Shield in the vanilla game. The grapple voltage gate I did do though, that you are supposed to have Hazard Shield for that, which you can do without Hazard Shield. There's a safe corner you can do it from, barely. So. Okay. Let's see what's in here really quickly. That's an energy tank, which is very relevant at this point. I have a lot of health, so whatever. Okay. I have Nova, Voltage. Okay, yeah. So I think this is the optimal route for me to take as much as possible. This area is honestly one of my favorite areas in the game in the randomizer setting. There's like so much complex logic with a lot of like locks and one-way paths and stuff. But it's also very rewarding, the puzzle, and different combinations of items and so many different routes. But it's also just very rewarding. Like, know your way around. I don't have X-ray. I don't have X-ray. Is that a problem? That's not a problem. I'm fine. I don't need X-ray. I don't need X-ray. I'm fine. It would have been funny if I soft locked right after that, after talking about how rewarding it is to know this area, and then I'm like, oh, well, I forgot about this, and after I bragged about how rewarding it is, I feel not so rewarded this time. But no, I don't need X-ray. I'm fine. It's fine. Whoops. Alright. So yeah, I can leave this area by going that way, but that needs X-ray. Alternatively, I have Nova. Okay. Yes! You don't need X-ray to shoot those, by the way. And this is a Nova door we just went through. And then we can get this check here, which is Charge Beam. Since we have Grab a Voltage, we can take this path here. That is very nice. Okay. And then, this elevator right here takes me straight back to that room with the pillar in the command courtyard in Flux Control. The room that I just dipped into and left. So I can escape that way without X-ray. This, you need X-ray to get out of, or Spider Ball. One of the two. Which is an E-Tank. Yeah, there's no point in getting this, really, so. But I have Spider Balls, so I can get out safely. So it's like, this is a very dangerous area if you're not familiar with it. Like, I almost got owned by it just now. But it's a very dangerous but also fun area to puzzle out, if that makes any sense. Okay. Mines? Am I really that desperate? Like, I know that my hyper missiles are somewhere in Pirate Homeworld. I know that much. I've done most of Command. I can take the I don't need X-ray. I need X-ray for one item in the mines, and that's it. But I don't need X-ray to get out. So I'm gonna go to the mines. I can look at every item except for one item, and hopefully stumble up and get my hyper missiles because they're somewhere in here. If not, then I'm gonna go back to Pirate Research, go backwards, and fight Candrada again, which I kind of don't want to do, but oh well. Yeah, the seed's still going. I don't do any out of bounds at all with randomizers. I know how to do it. No, I'm not good at it, but I know how to do it. Not practice at it though. Okay. Senna, please. Bye. 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 I don't know how to do face wall crawl. That one. I mean, I've done it like twice, but I'm not cool with it. Okay. Yeah, like, what are we looking for at this point? We need our hyper mode items, obviously, but X-ray is like the big thing we need at this point. Tired of failing. That's one way to research a new area. Oh. I was hoping to find X-ray. This is not what I wanted to find, because that just means more areas to check. Ship missiles is not what I want to find, honestly, because that just means more areas to check. Oh no, I do not want to see that. I legitimately do not want to see that, but good chance I have to come here anyways then. Yeah, wall crawling phase in itself is also just kind of kills a lot of the randomizer for corruption, honestly. I mean, obviously it's faster, but I play randomizers for the variety and for the randomizer, not because I want to go fast. If I purely wanted to go fast, I would speedrun the game. Okay. You can do all this without Hazard Shield pretty easily, actually, so shields. I mean, it's nice, but it's not really required. Oh yeah, I'm not a speedrunner, yeah. There's a reason why I haven't really been streaming Wario runs. Because there was a new strat found from McCreasy who, for Hot Roderick, that saves like 5 or 6 seconds, and now I need to practice that. So I'm not doing any runs until I have that down. But I'm not going to be able to like record or stream any runs while at my parents' place starting this weekend. So I'm not going to be able to record any runs at all until basically HDQ. So chances are McCreasy will probably beat my PB world record. He'll probably bot me back, which is fine. It's good to have other people swap around. Well then. Well then. Yeah, this is certainly a check. This is certainly a check. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same argument. Like, speed is fine and all, but like I don't play randomizers to go fast. I play have a different kind of playthrough. Well, in this case, it would be nice to do a little bit more focus. This is not interesting. Like it's the same reason why I always prefer main required on. Like people who argue against it say, oh, but you can just save a lot of time if you don't require the main item, and that's true. But like, if you're gonna do that, then you might as well just treat the randomizer as if those items don't exist, and then you're just gonna take the same kinds of routes. Each randomizer you do is just gonna be even more similar, which kind of defeats the purpose of the randomizer, and so on. I like being forced to play the game in a different way every time. That's why, and like, yeah, that's why I typically don't do like out of bounds on the randomizers and stuff. But I will agree, this stupid long fight is dumb. But it is also, I'll admit, it also will just make it a lot less entertaining if we get a check here. Wait, did I not get the cutscene the first time? Excuse me? I just realized. I got the cutscene on the second time. But like, I guess if the more you make a randomizer close to look like any percent speedrun, the less I will be interested in, basically. Because that's not what I'm looking for when I play the randomizer, typically. Generalizing, obviously. I'm obviously generalizing. Like, this thing is kind of just tedious, but at the same time, it's also just part of the randomizer. Some checks are just going to be terrible, and that's okay. Okay. But yeah. But like, I mean, I'm not gonna like condemn anyone for like using out of bounds in a randomizer. Like that, like, no out of bounds is just a pure personal preference, specifically randomizers. If I were doing like a race or something, I would not put that restriction on that kind of race. It is just a purely, what's it called, personal preference specifically for myself. But I don't know, it's different. Okay. Alright, we got X-ray, now we're just on to hunt. So we do, so the good news about finding X-ray here is that now we can actually full clear binds. I hope that was obvious about why that's one of the worst checks in the game. We still need to find the hyper items, which we know one's in Bria and one's in Pirate Homeworld. So Elysia is completely dead. We know that much. Oh, fun fact, this is one of few things that outright checks if you have X-ray. Everything else you can just snipe without X-ray. I wouldn't really mind if this thing was modded out, honestly, but eh. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. But that is a vanilla energy cell, yes. I mean, each energy cell actually has its own count. It's actually unique, so that might not technically be a vanilla energy cell. But for all intents and purposes, it makes sense. That is a missile tank. I kind of get why Miguel would say that, because it's like, I get just wanting to go fast in a randomizer and be like, why waste time trying to get these? Why waste time like requiring hyper mode items and stuff, which is perfectly understandable, honestly. I think Aaron also has that kind of Aaron Explosive has that kind of mentality, which is fair. She's the type of randomizer runner who would just try to skip as much as possible, basically. So I guess for me, like I like being forced to play the game differently every time, and like if I just did phase wall crawl every time, then like hyper ball and hyper missiles would, like, there's no point in like using any intel I get from terms of hyper missiles, for example. What do I want to do again? That's done. I can just go this way then. Yeah, it has to be here. Yeah. For example, like there's less like decision making you have to do with respect to that. She kind of did otherwise too, but also absolutely returning play, which is perfectly legit, yeah. And I don't mean that sarcastically, I mean that like actually. I actually don't know what that means. I want to open this up. So basically, like, to me, I like logicking out randomizers like this. But the more... I mean, this kind of goes for tricks as well. Like, the more you allow... the less requirements you have, I guess, if that makes any sense. The less of that logicking there is what I will try to say. And out of bounds in the randomizer setting takes away a lot of that, in my opinion, because you're suddenly taking away like the majority of seeker missile locks, the majority of super missile locks, the majority of that, and you're making way more items just less useful, and that makes it less interesting to me. But I also get why like people would do that, would like do it out of bounds, especially in a tourney setting where they are allowed in those cases. It's okay, we're all cringe sometimes. I know I've already said some cringe stuff in this stream. Okay. But you know, that's just me. With out of bounds, you don't need ship grapple. That is true. You don't need out of bounds or seeker missiles for Helios. With out of bounds, you could just completely skip ship grapple. This is a lot of pirates. Ship grapple and seekers for Helios, and they're both already okay. Well, ship grapple is kind of important, but like they're both already not super important items in the first place. Oh, yeah, okay, you're right. You do need seekers to enter Helios. I forgot about that. That's true. You don't need it for the bomb part though. For now. Oh, yeah. Someday, I'm really hoping like Miguel finds some crazy skip to hypergrapple. Because like hypergrapple skip is like, right now for corruption speedrunning, hypergrapple skip is the holy grail. Which is hilarious because hypergrapple is like the most meme item in this game. Like it's so useless. It is so useless. I see an item. So, okay. Let me go over why hypergrapple is a meme, okay? The game makes you think this is hypergrapple when you're in hyper mode. That is not hypergrapple. This is grapple voltage. So that is all grapple voltage. That is not hypergrapple. Note that I actually did that without hypergrapple. So in other words, the game literally only hyper mode only matters for those hypergrapple blobs. If you're using if you're using grapple voltage on like those phase puddle enemies in phase, you're not using hyper grapple. You're using grapple voltage. Anytime you use grapple voltage in hyper mode is actually grapple voltage. It is not hyper mode like hyper grapple, like the game kind of makes you think. In other words, hyper grapple, the game checks for hyper grapple but only like 3 spots in the entire game. The time you get it, the moment you get it, and the one blob in Pirate Command and the one blob in phase. That's it. Those are the only times hypergrapple is ever relevant. It is a complete meme of it. It is a complete meme of an item. It is so useless. But it is also one of the very few items that is still required to beat the game. Because no one has found a way to get past the blob required for endgame and then get back out. There's a way to get past it, but there's no way to get out yet. So, yeah. And like, half of what in this game right now so far, half of what you do in this game is pretty much just for hypergrapple, because it is basic. If you could skip hypergrapple, you would probably cut out about 1 hour under run. Okay, like, I'm not even joking. You would probably cut out like 1 hour of this in the speed run. Oh, sorry, there's no reason for me to be here anymore. I found hypergrapple. So let's get out of here now. Because like, if you skip hypergrapple, that means you can skip Omega Ridley, which means you can skip getting ship missiles, because that's required to unlock Omega Ridley, which means you can skip the wall crawl through that, which means you can skip disabling you don't need to disable the defense. There's just yeah, DCR actually made a very good video on that. Okay, 20 minutes, fair. 1 hour is, I definitely exaggerated, 1 hour. Wait, hello? Oh, that's it. Randomized door colors is screwing with me. Like, there's just so much you would skip. So much time you would save. Like, the low percent would go down by like 3 or 4%. DCR made a really good video, which DF or Miguel, please feel free to link it. That just sums up why it's the holy grail for corruption at this point. Yeah, I think I was kind of thinking of the low percent perspective when really I'm talking about 80%, but it is absolutely would be a really big deal to be able to skip hyper grapple. So. Yeah, I did. Hyper missiles were in Metroid Research. I think that's the name of the room. Main Research? Yeah, so that link Miguel linked. Definitely take a look at that if you're interested in, well, everything I just talked about with hyper grapple. Very good video on that. For now, I'm just gonna be comfy and do Valhalla because, like, I mean, I'm gonna have to do this at some point. Might as well split up the end game chore stuff. Okay. Steve certainly has been an adventure, not gonna lie. Okay. Oh, almost 8.5 hours. Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, Dark Visor skip's never gonna happen. Like, I cannot see that actually happening in Echoes. Like, in order to do that, you need some way to, like, manipulate the game memory somehow. And if you can do that, then skipping Dark Visor is the least of what you can do. It's the least of your worries. As powerful as that. I do not see that ever happening. And if it did, then you're pretty much, that means the game is broken to the point where you can probably just wrong warp or something absurd like that. I know it's a holy grail, but I honestly kind of hope ILS 100% isn't a thing. Just because, like, I like that it's different, it stands out differently from 90%. But to be fair, the more people have rerouted 100%, the more and more similar it's becoming to any percent. So at this point, it's kind of less of an issue, in my opinion. So, I'm like less opposed to it. I mean, like, obviously, I'm never gonna like complain about like route changes and stuff like that. It's just like part of me just hopes it never happens because I really like that 100% is different. But if it happens, then it happens. So like, just to make that clear, because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, all the research that I think Miguel primarily has been doing, I don't want it to happen. I don't really want. That's not really what I'm saying. Nor do I want to encourage that mentality, because that mentality kind of sucks, honestly. That's one really annoying thing I've heard about, at least from multiple people have told me about how like a lot of people are like really annoyed about the difficult tricks in Dread speedrunning, that they were talking about how they want those tricks to be patched, which is really pisses me off when people say that. Oh, this trick is too difficult, please patch it so that people are all on even footing. And guess what? A really game-breaking glitch was patched because it was too easy. Yeah, not even memeing. There's a glitch in Dread that lets you become invincible, which was patched because it was too. They specifically said that they decided to patch it because it was too easy for someone to do. So talk about fucking irony on people who ask for stuff to be patched because it's too difficult. Like that just kind of annoys me when people say that. Honestly. And like, I know that some people will feel differently. I'm definitely old-fashioned in this. I am really not a fan of splitting tricks into categories because of difficulty. And in some cases it's valid. I'm generalizing a bit, but I really am not a fan of that because, like, you're basically saying, oh, all this time you put into this trick is not going to matter because you have to do it anyways. You're indirectly punishing people who put in practice and time to practice them. I really just do not like that kind of attitude. Like, you should absolutely be rewarded for like knowing how to do a really difficult trick. And like, as far as I know, Giant Scene clips don't even save that much time in Dread. It's like a minute and a half, which is significant, don't get me wrong, but it's not like skip the game breaking significant. And like, if you put in so much effort to be able to do like 5 frame perfect tricks in a row, yes, you should absolutely be rewarded for be rewarded with that much time save because it's so difficult to do. And I think that is I am very opposed to having like category splits like that personally, because you're kind of punishing people who put in a lot more time than other people because of that, personally. again, I think there are cases where it's reasonable, but yeah, that kind of attitude of it's too hard, please patch it or please make a category out of it. It does kind of bothers me because you're basically kind of just, I don't know how to phrase this without sounding so elitist. It's kind of like saying, I don't want to put in effort, make this category for me kind of attitude. If you don't want to make, and if you want to run a game without putting effort, that's fine. Run the game however you want to. Please run the game with whatever tricks you want. I just think it's selfish to try to ask for, really selfish to kind of ask for a category split like that because you find a trick too difficult or don't want to use the trick. That, if you don't want to use the trick, that's fine. But if other people put in time to learn something, they should absolutely be rewarded for putting in that time, is how I see it. But yeah, like, I think a lot of people don't really see it from that kind of perspective. It's like, yeah, sure, you're making the category more accessible, which is, I mean, I'm not saying that's bad, but I don't like when it also kind of discourages people who put in more time or practice into learning stuff, if that makes any sense. And that's why I'm like not a fan of the major category splits, really. Maybe like a glitchless category would be very well warranted, because that's a lot easier to define as well, but there's a reason I don't speedrun Dread. The reason I don't speedrun it. If I do, it's just gonna be silly casual glitchless stuff because it's fun that way, honestly. And like, I don't really want to learn Shine Sync clips, and I'm not gonna ask for a category for it. And because I'm not gonna put in the time to learn it, I should absolutely be punished for not learning it compared to someone who did learn it. And that's fair to me. So, that's just me though. And again, obviously, if you want to run a game without certain tricks, that's fine. Like, I don't know, it really isn't much different than say like, oh, there's this really, really, really difficult boss strats that saves like 1 minute. But like, people aren't gonna complain about that because it doesn't look janky like Shine Sync clips. Like, I can guarantee you that if you had the exact same kind of input difficulty for like a boss strat, people would not complain about it. So, that's why I'm not really a fan of that kind of mentality. That's a mistake. I've never tried them. I've sort of read the input requirement. I'm just like, nah. I mean, if I want to run the game seriously, then sure, but nah. So, yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, to me, categories are a different way to play. Should be made based off of goals, not restrictions, if that makes sense. I mean, there are cases where restrictions make sense, don't get me wrong. But having goal-oriented categories is typically my personal default, if that makes any sense. You know, if you disagree, then that's perfectly fine. Like, I get why people kind of want that. It's just, as I'm biased, but as someone who like really goes in with like, all the optimizations and stuff, it hurts to see the kind of attitude where people just want to kind of punish people like me, if that makes any sense. Which is why it bothers me. And I disagree with it. But that being said, I don't run Dread, so like, what I say doesn't and shouldn't really have any direct impact on that decision, if that makes any sense. Which, you know, is fair. The major glitch for no major, I think it's silly. I think it was very premature, and people made the split purely off of difficulty, not because of time save or anything like that. I think it's a very silly split, personally. Pseudo waves save you so much time, but it's, I mean, I don't think either SSL, Shine Sync clips or pseudo waves should be banned, period. Maybe in a glitchless run, but I do think it's a little mind-boggling that like Shine Sync clips are considered major, which don't save anywhere close to as much time as pseudo waves. That's how I see it. I think it was just very premature to make kind of a category split like that. If something like glitchless would have made a lot more sense, I think. Because that's a lot easier at that point to define, really, and less arbitrary. So, like, to me, I really strongly disagree with that split. But again, I don't run the game, so like, people in the community are free to ignore my opinion on that, which, you know, is fair. Yeah, it also just looks weird. So I can guarantee you that's why people want it banned. So just Shiny Scene clips looks unnatural, whereas pseudo waves don't look unnatural. Quote, quote. Yeah, I just think people also just put too much value on leaderboards, really. Like, if you don't want to run a game with Shiny Scene clips, then that's fine. Don't do it. I need to activate that scene. Okay. I don't know why I did that. I'm just like autopiloting corruption right now. I'm still having fun, but yeah. I've just been ranting. I've pretty much just been ranting things I say in chat all the time. Honestly, okay. Well, okay. I have a few things I like to say about that. So, one, I can guarantee you that the majority of people who made that vote don't touch the game anymore. I'm pretty sure. And like, I don't think some sort of decision should be made within like the first half year of the game or something. Honestly, because like, let's be real here. Like, the majority of people who vote there are not going to care about the game after a few months, and those kinds of people, I don't think they should really have much of a say. If that makes any sense. And like, I speak from personal experience. If we had literal community votes for 3 houses speedrunning, I can guarantee we would have like 15 extra leaderboards that no one would ever do any runs in. I'm not exaggerating. And that's why I also honestly disagree with the community votes in general. I think there should be a poll, for sure. I think polls are very good to gauge general interest on or opinions on that, but I don't think they should ever really be the end-all be-all. Personally. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and you know, that's fine. I get why people will disagree all the time. People want like everyone to have an equal say, which is understandable. I don't know. There's a lot of people in like 3 houses that like obviously just played the game, kind of hopped on like the month 1 or 2 speedrun train, asked for like a lot of categories, so we said no, and those people aren't around anymore. Now, to be fair, you can also say there's a bit of a circular logic there, because if you don't make a leaderboard, then less people will be interested in it, and thus there will be no runs for that in the first place. So like, that's all. You can also say that. I have different various opinions on that, and I also will completely admit I'm like more old-fashioned on that sense. But I'm not a fan of everything being a community vote, I guess, if that makes any sense. Especially since, again, like, a lot of people who, within the first like few months of a game, are obviously not, like these like the thing is like these leaderboard things are long term. Is a thing. Like, they're long term, so like people who only touch the game for like the first 2 or 3 months, I don't think they should really have much say in something that would last years, honestly. But I'm actually getting battery, by the way. I don't know. I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, and like some people, I think it's like I want to be clear and clarify that, like, again, you can run however you want, and honestly, I think people ultimately do kind of put too much value on leaderboards as a whole. Really, I also don't want this to come up and be like, oh, you shouldn't be running a game because you're new or blah blah blah, because that's just kind of a douche thing. Like, if I speedrun Dread, and I'm a very experienced speedrunner, and I do think I have a lot of experienced opinions, I speak from personal experience, but if I run Dread for like 2 months and I don't run it anymore, I should not have much say in it. I legitimately don't think whatever I vote shouldn't really have much say. And so that goes for myself too, FYI. So like it's not just say, oh well, Kirby's the elitist, he doesn't want any casual runners to have 0 say. Well, no, but I do want people who want voices in the game's leaderboard community to be ones that kind of matter more long term, even if they are not like super serious speedrunners. Personally. Okay. Have I full cleared this? Right for it. A lot of people saw. I don't think people care about Samus Returns really. I don't think anyone really saw that, how broken Samus Returns got. Although I'll admit that Samus Returns is kind of a case where it's too broken, for sure. So, like, and I guess I have what I want to say on my mind, but I'm trying to like figure out the best way to word it without saying casual speedrunners don't matter. Because they, I mean, obviously could kind of matter. I think what I want to say is, like, leaderboards ultimately matter. Primarily for top runners. Like, the worse you are at the game, the less it matters. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. If you're like the 20th place person, your time is not, the leaderboard is not going to be as relevant for you. Because they ultimately matter for, like, the top runners. I feel like. I mean, not only, but like I think like ultimately they matter for the top level runners, and thus leaderboards should prioritize, not prioritize. They should prioritize, I should say, that group, because that's what they matter for the most, in my opinion. Not to say that like anyone who like runs a game casually or less seriously or something, they shouldn't matter, but yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me to like try to phrase what I'm trying to say. Also, Moganar has hypergrapple, just FYI. Yeah, that is also a legitimate issue, Brainy. Like that is also not a legitimate other issue. It's like, well, like it's partially a circular issue. So like I also completely get that argument. It's like, well, if you're not going to make a category, then fewer people are going to want to run in the first place, which means there's no people who run in the first place. So like the reason of no one's going to run the category in the first place is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that is true, to be fair. Yeah, like there has to be this kind of balance. Like I absolutely think top runners should be prioritized, but I don't think the higher level runners should be prioritized, but they should not, but rules should not exclude lower level runners, if that makes any sense. They should absolutely not exclude them, is what I think is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, well, like what they've said is absolutely correct. I think there kind of ultimately does need to be a balance of that, because you don't want to like have a leaderboard be so strict to the point where like no one's ever going to want to bother doing it. So yeah, it's a hard balance to find, and I think like that's kind of the bottom line I'm trying to get to. Like, I mean, if I run Dread and don't use pseudo waves, then that's fine. I'm gonna take a time penalty for it. And my time is ultimately gonna matter less for leaderboard, but that's fine. I also just come from the perspective I just kind of care about optimizing the time, optimizing the community time rather than leaderboard, I guess. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being competitive. There ultimately, I think, sort of just needs to be a good balance of that, I guess. Because accessibility is absolutely important. I do think there is sort of a thing as too accessible, but I don't mean that from a hardware perspective. I just kind of mean, I don't mean that from like a physical accessibility perspective. I mean like a skill accessibility, I guess. Yeah, leaderboards are kind of, oh yeah, there was this, well okay, it's technically, it's public in a Discord, but there was a few people in the Sonic Forces channel where they were like, ha, I beat this person's time, I'm gonna beat all your times now, and I'm just like, that's not I mean, it's good to be motivated and aim to beat times, but that's not how you do it, please. Like, don't have that kind of attitude. Like, like I'm gonna make a hypothetical example. Like say like Memory has all of the IL world records in Wario Land Shake, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, Memory, I'm gonna go after all your time just crushed and ha ha ha. That's really demotivating and rude. Maybe instead, maybe phrase it like, I kind of want to aim for improving these times, and I think that's a better kind of mentality to go after that. I'll completely admit that like my more conservative opinion on leaderboards, I'm definitely more conservative because I'm more old-fashioned on that, but at the same time I also speak from experience. I've been around speedrunning since 2003, and no, I did not typo. I had been around speedrunning for almost 2 decades. So I know what speedrun leaderboards can turn into with certain things when certain things happen, or how like they can be demotivating or something. So it is a little bit discouraging when people kind of just ignore that experience, but it is what it is. What was I saying? Where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with this. But yeah, it's like you want more people to run. It's difficult. I was going somewhere with this thought, but I got distracted and I forgot. What was my thought process? Oh yeah, like I was talking about personal experience, and like I just mentioned this again. 3 houses. 3 houses. If we cater to literal community votes for 3 houses, you would have had people constantly having. You would have had casual mode speedruns on 3 houses, which is really stupid. Because if you know how the speedrun works, you know that adds literally nothing. That just adds like basically more downtime and changes nothing about the actual strats. But people legitimately ask for casual mode strats, and like, and those are the kinds of scenarios where like people are just being uninformed, I guess, if that makes any sense. Which is why I don't want to say that. It's like, but like I do think there absolutely are going to be groups of people who are uninformed and will thus have less informed opinions, I guess. And then yeah, there were absolutely people who were like nut hugging like higher difficulty speedruns all the time as well. I did save, right? I did. Or like ask for like New Game Plus DLC or New Game Plus. And like New Game Plus is a thing. New Game Plus has actually had a leaderboard. You want to know how many people? So like the argument of not creating a leader, the argument of what's it called? I think someone in chat brought this up. Like there aren't going to be any runs on a leaderboard if a leaderboard doesn't exist or a category, which is true. But in this specific scenario, the leaderboard for New Game Plus has absolutely existed. People asked for a lot of New Game Plus stuff. They existed. Guess how many runs exist for them? Crimson Flower New Game Plus. Me, Claris Mecha. All other routes, me. And then Tasmania Jones did a run for each of them as well. So this is like after 2 years. There exists about 2 runs for each of those categories by people who were not around in the first month or 2. I didn't run 3 houses in the first month, FYI. None of the people who like actually asked for those. So like this is one of those experiences where like having like a category split or like conforming to those communities would absolutely be a rush decision and like evidence that like people would actually not bother running these even if the leaderboards exist. Obviously communities differ. Like if you like Dread is big enough to where like having some sort of category split category would absolutely like be popular because you have that demand for it, actual demand for it. You have people who care a lot more about running the game than people in the 3 houses community who just want to ask to see stuff but don't want to put in effort, if that makes any sense. So like obviously it's a case-by-case scenario. So like again, that kind of experience is why I'm like naturally kind of biased. So I'm completely willing to admit that. But yeah, it's it's iffy. And like obviously again, like don't make blanket rules. I'm also kind of generalizing. So like what I say doesn't necessarily apply to every game. There was this one time, well, I'm not going to mention names, but if you were in Fire on the Discord, you know who it is. Clara's got the world record and made a really big significant improvement in Crimson Flower. By like 3 or 4 minutes actually. She put in work. She shared it in the Discord, and one of the people who kept asking for hard mode speedruns said, well, congratulations, now do it on hard mode. I wish I was memeing, but I'm not. Yeah, she was not happy about that. I don't think any of us were really happy about that. It was a pretty rude thing to say, honestly. So like those kind of comments really jaded me and like, really jaded me, I guess. In like, catering to more casual runners, I guess. I don't know how to phrase it. Like you'd see those kind of comments pretty frequently, honestly, from people who like kind of are interested in watching runs of the game and want a say in the leaderboards, but don't actually really want to put in effort. Yeah, Claris was pretty pissed off. Perfectly understandable. I would be really up to looking. And that's why from then on it kind of started becoming a meme of people asking for hard mode speedruns and Fire Emblem, because like people will constantly ask for them for a while, and it's like, well, do it yourself. The one time someone did that. Yeah, he came in, asked for hard mode speedruns. I mean, he didn't ask for it, he said if they existed. And I immediately definitely immediately regret responding rudely, because I had been very jaded with people asking about that. So, well, at the same time, do you blame me? He asked for hard mode speedruns. We said no, and I was honestly rude about it, so I regret that. And then he went ahead and routed himself. That runner's name to this day is Tasmania Jones. He put in a fuck ton of work into routing every hard mode routes, and he rerouted all the Madden mode routes too. Those people I have mad respect for. I have so much mad respect for them. Because he rerouted all of them with no leaderboards. There did not exist leaderboards or hard or Madden leaderboards. I finally added them because like now that the runs actually exist for them. Like I have mad respect for him after that. Like he's like, oh, no hard mode always exists? Okay, I'll just do it myself. And like mad respect to him for that, really. If you are familiar with Three Houses Speedruns, he's the guy who came up with Magic to Do, just FYI. Mad respect. This is Hypergrapple, isn't it? Yep! We last locationed Hypergrapple. Yeah, like that's another thing. Like there's definitely gonna be a community of people who just want to watch those kinds of speedruns. So, do them. Which I think is much more of an issue than like in like a Fire Emblem kind of context than say like a Dread context, because I imagine most people in a Dread speedrun Discord actually want to run the game as opposed to just want to watch these kinds of runs. Yeah, we got one of the big three. Which, by the way, the Blue Lions route. Okay, well, Devi Yassi actually has the record for all 4 routes now in normal mode. He kind of bopped me and Aeon Frodo. He rerouted Blue Lions. To make Mercedes the dancer now, just FYI. Which it saves like probably like 15-20 seconds because she's closer. Yeah. But downside is that she is not guaranteed to win the dancing competition. Because her charm doesn't hit 14 after practice. You need 14 charm to guarantee becoming a dancer. She hits 13. I don't know what the odds are of her losing, but she can lose. So if you want the Blue Lions world record, you have to face the chance of not getting a dancer. Yeah. And like, I actually saw someone ask about making a category to make Flame a dancer, and I'm just like, why? Like, that's just rude. Like, honestly, that's just rude, in my opinion. If you want to make Flame your dancer, you want a 100% consistency option, then do it. You're just gonna buy the time loss. But like, if you're willing to take a risk of failing to save time, you should absolutely have that save time. And that's like, again, that's kind of like going back to my opinion on like why route splits shouldn't primarily depend on difficulty, in my opinion. Because that's the same kind of argument, really. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to do this thing that's risky now. I don't want to do this thing that's risky. So can you make it? risky or easy? Can you, is risky or difficult? Can you make a category for me? No. Like, if someone's doing something that's difficult or has risk to it, they should absolutely be rewarded for it. Like, please. So, yeah, like that honestly annoyed me more than like the Dread stuff, honestly, because it's like this is even less of a. I get not wanting to like do shine sync clips and stuff like that. This is just a, oh, well, this person is taking a risk to save time. I don't want to do that though. So can you kind of indirectly punish him for that, please? And that just bothered me, honestly. I don't know where I'm going. I lost track of where I'm going. I think I want to go this way. No, let's go this way. Like if you're running Cinder speedruns for Cinder Shadows and 3 Houses and you want to save like 5 seconds at the start by not having Claude or Dimitri have resistance +2 and dexterity +4, you're drastically reducing the reliability of your run. But if you're willing to take that risk, then yeah, take the time save, please. I decided to play it safe, so I'm gonna bite the time loss for that. But if you want to hate yourself and add that risk for time save, then you deserve it. That's my opinion on that. Yeah, pseudo waves apparently like were really terrible in Dread at first, but like people found ways, like pause setup ways, to make them a lot more reliable. To my understanding, I never tried them myself, but people found like much more reliable ways to handle them now in setups. To my understanding. So I guess like my personal bottom line is like if it just feels like you're kind of punishing people who put in more effort or takes more risks, then I would default to no on the split. But obviously, again, it depends on the communities. So, yep, we're still going on to Prime 3. We're almost done though. I think we might hit 9 hours. This seed was longer. This was a longer seed than your typical Prime 3 seed. Although to be fair, I soft locked earlier, so I had to redo like 20 minutes of it. But yeah. And like again, I also don't want to like imply, like I hope I'm making this clear. I don't want to like imply saying like, oh, if you're bad at a speedrun, you shouldn't bother trying, or leaderboards don't matter for you at all, and so on. Although I do think people should just run the game however they want, but I also want to make clear that like accessibility is still important, and I don't want to like give the wrong impression of gatekeeping. Like you should never be on a leaderboard unless you're really good at the game, kind of thing. If that makes sense. So I really hope that that's clear, because that's not why I'm trying to repeat that, because I want to make that as clear as possible and trying to be careful with my wording, but it's also difficult because I'm also kind of playing a game at the same time. So you can tell I have a lot of thoughts about that bottled up, but like I know there are a lot of people who disagree, and like that's perfectly fair. I also completely get why like people want splits in some cases, so, which I disagree with, but I'm not gonna like bitch about it. Typically, I get it. So yeah, and like I will absolutely admit that I have definitely said in chats probably some things I don't like admitting having said. I'll say that, because yeah. And that goes for Turbo too. Like if you want to, I think Turbo's still banned on Dread, and if you want to speedrun using Turbo, then by all means do so. I personally choose not to, because I kind of like mashing, and it adds to the game for me personally. But like if it doesn't for you, and you have issues, then by all means please do. Time to end this. Yes, it is. I look forward to fighting along. Like I used to be pretty opposed to Turbo, honestly, but yeah, like pretty recently, honestly. But like after like talking with like other people about Ico, Wooligen, Hop Coordinated, and seeing more different perspectives on it, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still biased against it. But like I've definitely grown a lot more open to it, for sure. So yeah, I mean like you'll probably never ever see me actually use Turbo, because it just. I know it's old-fashioned when you say this, but it feels wrong to me personally. But like, I'm also never gonna give anyone shit for using it. I'm never gonna give anyone crap for it, typically. I don't really see much reason for it to be allowed in Prime. I feel like mashing doesn't mashing doesn't really help you that much unless you're a slower masher. I feel like I did not have to kill Helios, thankfully. Yeah, that's a weird thing because I would probably be opposed to Turbo in Prime just because like there's nothing in Prime where you like need to mash to go fast, but like Turbo would open up the option, give you like the option of doing something you would never not really be able to do, even if restricted, if that makes any sense. For like whereas in Dread, you actually have mashing, you have real mashing, and it is a real hands issue that makes a big difference. But like, I guess in the Prime games when you're ether jumping, it's a completely different kind of story because it's a more rhythmic kind of timing. But if you like rhythmic timing rather than mashing for that, but you're kind of getting rid of that if you allow Turbo. But it's not. I don't find it's really something you really need for Primes. You never really need to mash. Yeah, mashing is not really going to help you that much, and like human mashing, I should say. But for Dread though, like absolutely. And I guess Samus Returns hypothetically too, but it's less of a big deal in Samus Returns because you have a lot of tools that makes mashing less viable. Because like you effectively have your rapid fire Aeon ability, which in itself is very powerful, and you just have to hold a button for it. So, oh, you can just hold A. I didn't know that actually. Oh look, not hyper grapple. So okay, that spot I just used hyper grapple on. It does require hyper grapple. That is one of 4 blobs in the game that requires hyper grapple. That's it though. That's it. There's 2 blobs from Omega Relief, one that I used to get through Empire Home Mode, and the one I just did. This right here is not hyper grapple. That is grapple voltage. So yeah, grapple voltage right there. There was like this giant essay that Karis wrote up about like how like phase handles your HP or damage. And like again, so like all of this I'm doing here is skippable if you go out of bounds, which is what Miguel was talking about, because you can go out of bounds pretty early in phase and just you can skip all of this. You can skip all of it, and it saves you a lot of time. I personally don't, because I like having to hunt for items sort of, to a degree. But like if you went out of bounds, you would be able to skip all of your hyper mode items. And it saves you a lot of time. Which, I mean, to me, I get why like Miguel and like other runners would prefer to do it, which is fair. Especially since you don't like hunting for those items as much. But it, like to me, with how I like to play Randomizer, it absolutely fundamentally changes how you play the Randomizer. It's like, it's kind of like saying beating Metroid Prime 2 without the Sky Temple keys, if that makes any sense. Because like Hyper Grapple and Hyper Missiles are basically Sky Temple keys for all intents and purposes. Or they're basically Sky Temple keys in a Randomizer context. Like to me, like it's basically saying skip getting Sky Temple keys, or like half of them at least. Okay, this thing hits you hard, by the way, but you can just also hit it hard back. That being said, I will say I'm not a fan of this area. Like, it's kind of tedious, really. So, like, I really don't blame anyone for wanting to skip it, really. It's really just the requirements that make me opposed to skipping it, that's it. The actual area itself is tedious. Okay. Let's see. Hold on, I need to take a look at something. Okay. I just had to take a look at something that might have been important, but okay. For those not familiar with this game, you see that meter? That yellow. I die if this yellow meter hits the edge of the gray meter. The gray meter is determined by how many E-tanks you have, by the way. So like, it's a bit of a misconception. Understandable. Don't get me wrong. Misconception. Which I'm trying. Like, you can tell I'm trying to like change my phrasing because like, if I say like it's a misconception, a lot of people think I think it can. Some people can come across as condescending. It's like whenever I say something like this is a misconception, I try to like clarify things. There's an understandable misconception. But anyways, there's a misconception that's understandable to make. Like a lot of people incorrectly think that your energy, all the upgrades you get don't matter for this planet, which isn't entirely incorrect, honestly. To be fair, like your ship missiles are useless. You can't use them here. Why do I have 2 out of 3? You can't use them here, so you're not wrong. But like, you still have your missiles, which I mean, it's overkill, but that's how it is in any Metroid game. And a lot of people bring up how like your energy tank counts also don't matter. Which is wrong, but understandable, because like a lot of people are completionists, myself included. So like if you enter this area with all 14 energy tanks, that gray meter is going to be at the very end. So it's not going to be obvious at all that like, so it just looks like you have a full health meter that's agnostic of your energy tanks. But if you have less than 14 energy tanks, then you can kind of tell there is like a health cap here. So it is it's a misconception, but also a fair one that's an understandable one. People think your energy tanks don't matter for this, but they absolutely do. They absolutely do matter. Ask anyone who's on low percent, and they will tell you otherwise. Low percent in this area does not give you much leeway at all. Like I would be dead like 5 times over if this is low percent. Just FYI. Like you have to like meticulously find enemies to grab a voltage to keep your phase on meter low in low percent, just because you just have so little leeway with that. Okay. Get this properly, I can one cycle this. F, no, not the Metroids! Ah! Okay. Oh no, oh no, oh no. And that does damage to you a lot, by the way. That's too hard. Okay. You don't need X-ray, but it's just nice because you can see it a bit more clearly. Okay. Yeah, I was so close to one rounding it. Dang it. So close. Tisk tisk. Okay. Oh look, I'm spamming hyper mode. So I'm hooking Dark Samus to make her take longer to reach the center, which is good because that just means I can get more damage in before he does this. I can finish her here. Yeah, she was way too close to the center. Okay. Dark Samus repulsed. Let's go. Yeah. F. Oh, I thought it was Q. I thought Q was going to do the easier attack. this is the pattern you don't want to see. It's not the pattern you want to see. It's a very awkward type of attack. I have a screw attack. GG! Oops, all majors. Oh my god. Oh. This is the longest this ever took me to do this. I've done probably like 5 or 6 of these. This is by far the longest one. I wonder why. I wonder why. Huh, it couldn't be the freaking meme seed I got from Echoes. Corruption only took a lot longer because I made an oopsie with the soft lock and had to redo like 20-30 minutes. And, well. This was fun. I enjoyed this. This was fun. I also need to get ready to share the Echo Seed because, oh god, this Echo Seed was freaking glorious. Alright. Okay. Well, I'm tired. Very tired. I had fun, but I'm also very tired. Ooh.
Sir, we have confirmed unstable energy spikes in multiple locations on the planet. It's a chain reaction. It's accelerating.
Okay,
Order the fleet to disengage and prepare to retreat.
Yeah, so
Activate the Leviathan's warp field. Get us out of here.
I have a raid message. So she is doing a OT randomizer. She's pretty awesome. I'm surprised she's still streaming at this time, but it's okay. So be ready to post "Oops all frogs" in her chat and just go in with that. She's comfy. So imagine being surprised at the planet exploding. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, get ready to go there. You're gonna follow because she streams a lot of randomizers and a lot of comfy content too. So, and cats as well. You'll see cats. So thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good evening, and yeah, have a good night.